Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here. Hope you guys are having a great night. It is Thursday, November 20th. It is just after 8 p.m. out here in the desert. It's very chill and cool in the desert, just 56 degrees on a clear night after we've had some rain. Oh my gosh, it's finally here, guys. Fall/winter is finally here. I'm so very, very happy. Can't you tell? But I'm even more happy to be hanging out with you guys on a third day in a row. 3 days in a row. How about it? So the other night we had a late night with the Davey on Tuesday. And then we did a late night with the Davey before dark yesterday. And then I jumped over on Killjoy Jake's channel last night. That was awesome. Thank you guys to everybody that came out and represented over there and hung out with us. That was really cool. Talking some Scream 7, you know, all that kind of good stuff. And then here we are with more of your, I guess, kind of like my reaction to the community polls, but also your guys' input from the live stream side. So just in case you've missed the previous two entries in this series, I put a whole bunch of audience polls out there on the community tab. The very first episode was centered around the best horror movies from each decade. So I asked Copilot, I scoured Google to try to find, you know, the best four from each decade. I know it's very difficult to whittle those down, but I tried to find something grimy, something more mainstream, something that's a little more kind of in our normal wheelhouse, you know, the Halloweens, the Nightmare on Elm Streets and all that kind of stuff. So that was the first night. And then yesterday during the day, we dove into horror remakes throughout the decades, which was really fun. And tonight is going to be, it's part 3 of the whole thing, but it's really going to be like part 1 of horror sequels. So what is the best sequel per each franchise? Some of them are going to be like sequel/remake because maybe they don't have a lot of entries. So we're going to play a little fast and loose with the rules, but it's our rules, so we get to do that. And what's really been cool, I'm going to just kind of go through my spiel and then I'll say what's up to everybody. What's really been cool is just being able to see, because we have such a great loyal live audience. Like, you guys there in the chat are amazing. And I really know what you guys like. I mean, that much is clear because we talk and we hang out so much. But what was really cool is seeing what other people that maybe they're watching the pre-recorded stuff, maybe they're checking the live stream out on replay, which is awesome. I mean, by the way, if you're checking out the live stream on replay, make sure to hit that like button. And you know what? If you're live right now, hanging out in the chat, we got 25 people watching us right now. Go ahead and click that like button as well. Subscribe if you haven't already, all that good stuff. But it's been really cool to see what the audience that doesn't always hang out in the live chat, like what you guys think. It's kind of been enlightening, and I'm able to see, you know, what you guys are loving that maybe we're not talking about as much over here. I had no idea. I mean, I knew we had people in the community that liked Terrifier. I had no idea that Terrifier was like huge in the Davey Deathray community. I thought because of how much I don't talk about it, or, you know, I say I'm relatively lukewarm, then it's not my cup of tea, but I think I'm pretty nice to the Terrifier movies, and we talk about them a little bit. But holy crap, we're going to get into that next time, the Terrifier talk. But that poll has over 1,000 votes for which is the best Terrifier movie. Over 1,000 votes. We have barely, I think we just hit 2,100 subscribers. So when you're talking 1.3 thousand people voting, that, you know, versus 200 to 400 is kind of the average for all the other polls. Wow, you guys love Terrifier. So I need to know from you guys what you want me to cover in the Terrifier franchise, because I don't want to just do straight up reviews. Let's have a little more fun with it. Let's get a little more into the nitty gritty, gory, splattery, you know, Terrifier goodness, if we can call it that, and tell me what you want to see from me as far as that goes. But having said all that, here we are. We're going to talk about some franchise sequels. I'm really pumped. Guys, we are going to cover 8 different franchises tonight. So I'm not going to tell you which ones, but we're going to cover 8 of them tonight. I've got 8 more ready to go. And just so you know, over the last 2 or 3 days, I've dropped a whole bunch of, you know, newer polls on that community tab. So go on over to the community tab on the Davey Deathray YouTube page and make sure you let your voice be heard. And then that way we'll just have a better sample size and we'll know what the heck is going on. Let me go ahead and say what's up to everybody hanging out here in the chat, and then we will dive in. Thank you guys so much again for kicking it with us. And before I go too far, because I always do this at the end, I'm trying to get better about doing it every time at the beginning as well. Thank you so much to our Patreon members, our YouTube channel members, and of course our Death Squad mods for sharing links of other creators, sharing links for the things that we're doing here, and also just keeping everything clean or keeping everything reasonably dirty, as it were. I mean, it is the Davey Deathray channel. I'm kind of a filthy fucker, if you know what I'm saying. Brooke knows what I'm talking about. Anyways, I'm going to say what's up to everybody here, and then we'll get cruising. We got Lamontre Gillard in the house. What's happening, Lamontre? Ashton Luck, howdy, howdy, right back at you. We got Montrese hanging out. Montrese is new to the community, everyone, so be very welcoming and awesome to Montrese. I mean, you guys are always awesome and welcoming to everybody, but I just wanted you to know Montrese is new to us. Thank you so much for coming on back, man. Hope you are digging what we do here so far. We got Antonis Andriotis, one of our great channel members. How you doing, Antonis? Chester Franklin Jr., what's happening, Chester? Jigsaw, how's it going, Jigsaw? Paula Fitzhenry, what's up, Paula? And we also have Kill the Credits. I want to say Killin' the Credits or Keelan the Credits because it's Keelan from Kill the Credits. Yeah, so there you go. I don't know why. I want to combine those two, Keelan. Was that something that you ever thought about when you did your channel? Like, because I'm like, ooh, his name is Keelan the Credits. Maybe a little too on the nose, though, admittedly. How are you doing, man? Hope you are well. We got the lovely Miss Brooke Scarlett, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. She says, let's go, Big Daddy. That's right. They call me Big Daddy. Some of them call me Big Daddy D, Big Daddy Deathray. I don't know, whichever one you got. I'm into all of them. They make me feel very loved and appreciated. We got Jay Beach in the house. What's happening, Jay Beach? Hope you are doing well. We got Linda. How are you doing, Linda? One of our great channel members. I know it's late for you, Linda. Hopefully we can jazz you up enough to hang around here and keep you enthused, or just like, you know, sing you to sleep, so to speak. We got Blu-ray Addict in the house. What's happening, Blu-ray? Great to see ya. We got Shoddy here. What's happening, Shoddy? Hope you are doing well, my brother. Who else do we have here? We've got we got I feel like I'm just seeing the same folks. I know there's new people in here. We got Brett from Good Real Hunting. What's happening, Brett? One of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. I feel like I get to say that a handful of every streams. It's very nice. We got Davey James in the house. Davey Jones, if you're nasty. How are you doing, Davey? Hopefully you are feeling well. Guys, Davey is, you know, recovering from a bit of that ick that we can sometimes get this time of year. Glad to have you back, Davey, and I hope that the road to recovery is going nicely for you. Absolutely. Okay, who else do we have here? We got Hollywood Lido, one of our great channel members. How you doing, Lido? And I almost skipped right by it, but Davey James, aka Davey Jones if you're nasty, is also one of our YouTube channel members. Thank you guys so much for being channel members. We had a really fun stream this last weekend where we talked about all sorts of kind of weird stuff. You know, nothing like bad or anything, but you know, if you want to get a little bit more of like some more intimate hangouts and some stuff like that, occasionally I can get a little spotty with how much material I put out there for the channel members. I totally recognize that and own that, and I know that I need to be better. However, here's the really cool thing. You can have a membership for as low as $1 a month. So, you know, it's kind of, you know, it's like for $1 a month, you know, maybe you only see me a couple times, but you also get some of the videos the videos that drop, you're going to get early access to. So there's all sorts of fun stuff like that. Lido says it's been raining for like a week straight here in LA. Ugh. See, I like it when it rains out here in the desert because it hardly does. So I can take it a little bit more. I grew up in the rain though. So for me, it's sort of like nostalgic, and, you know, I don't want to live in Juneau, Alaska, where there's 300 days of precipitation a year. But, you know, the 15 to 20 days we get here in Arizona doesn't seem like enough, you know. Jason Carpenter, one of our great channel members, hanging out as well, says, what's up, Davey? Just chilling out watching the Spurs game. All right. And there is a Thursday night football game. Go Texans. Nothing against the Bills. I'm sorry. I don't know if Jamie's in the chat yet, but nothing against the Bills, Jamie. But my no good cheating ex-wife had heart eyes for Josh Allen. So I kind of like watching him lose now because she is terrible. You know, when somebody emotionally abuses you for years, you don't hate them, or you shouldn't hate them. I don't hate anybody. But I like to think that, maybe if karma does exist, that it somehow bites them in the ass. You know what I mean? We got Adrian James hanging out. How are you doing, Adrian? So good to see you. Miss Candy. How are you doing, Miss Candy? Everybody give it up for Candy. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for kicking it with us, miss. Let's see who else we got here. Stephanie Hinkle, what's happening? One of our great YouTube channel members. And Stephanie is a fixture over on our Discord server, which is free and awesome and a lot of fun. I talk about it too much, I know. We're getting close to 100 members over there. It's just a really fun place to hang out and share a little bit of our lives, stay connected in between streams, all that kind of good stuff. There she is, Miss Jamie Hart, the OG Death Squad mod, and our original Mama mod. She's also a channel member. She's got it all going on, yeah. Let's see what else we got going on in here. And I do see you guys giving your opinions on the Halloween movies. Don't worry, we're going to be jumping into those. We got King Matthew III jumping on in. Hey, no worries, King Matthew. It's I go live so much. I certainly don't expect people to make it to every single one. So whatever you're able to make it to, that's awesome. I know the live streams are a lot more fun when you can be here, but even if you're able to catch up a little bit on the replay, then, that's cool too. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us, man. Hope you're doing well and hope all is well with the fam as well. We got Christine Tassoni. Is it Tassoni or Tassone? 3156. I know YouTube has gone back to using the handles or like the @ names instead of the actual like usernames that you guys pick. But Christine, welcome on in. I think this is the first time we've seen you in here. So you're kicking it with the Death Squad. I hope you have a great time and everybody be super sweet to Christine. It looks like you guys are already throwing out the love. So really, really dig to see it, or dig seeing that. Christine, I see your chat here about Halloween H2O. I'm going to star that so we can go back to that one. Lido says, don't worry, I'll take care of being cruel about Terrifier. Definitely not my bag, but when you cover horror on YouTube or something like that, it's like, I can't act like it doesn't exist. And I got to the point with Terrifier, Lido. This was probably about like last year where I was like, I can't keep on talking about these movies and saying that they're not my thing if I don't sit down and watch them, because they would come up in live streams or whatever, people would talk about them, and I'd be like, well, I don't think I would like it, but I've never seen them. So I was like, dude, you just gotta watch them. Saw Terrifier 3 in the theater and actually had a pretty good time with that one in the theater. But you gotta mentally prepare yourself for something like Terrifier, and plenty of bathroom breaks because the 2 and 3 are just way too friggin' long. Aaron Click is in the house. What's happening, Aaron? So great to see you, man. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're having a great evening. I hope you've had I hope everybody's had an awesome week so far. Terrifier ain't my vibe, but what makes horror great? There's something for everyone. Couldn't have said it better myself, Linda. Absolutely. And, I know that apparently a lot of people in the audience are passionate about those films. And so, part of the game, part of like the job, or part, whatever you want to call it, one of my responsibilities to you guys is to, ultimately like listen and give you guys what you want, right? So I would love to do some Terrifier content. Maybe I can do a little, brainstorming, and maybe I could even bring in some other creators that are like, they've been in it for a while, that would be kind of cool to talk about Terrifier with some other people that are passionate about it. But if you guys have got a specific, like, maybe I could just do like a theories kind of thing or whatever. I'm not going to spitball it all right here. But we'll figure out something good for the folks that really, really dig it. We got Papa John 1622 in the house, says, hey, first time catching a live stream. I've loved listening to the playbacks while working. Fuck yeah, Papa John. Thank you so much for jumping on in, man. I love seeing when people jump in and they're like, hey, I've been watching for a while, but this is the first time I've caught a stream. And that's exactly why I'm going at a little bit of a different time. And I know for some folks on the East Coast, if you have to wake up early for a job, you're probably like, why is Davey going live at 10 p.m.? And it's like, I want to cast some nets into different parts of this ocean, right? So when I was house sitting earlier in the summer, I think it was July, I was going live at like 10 p.m. And at that time, before the time switch and everything, that was 1 a.m. for East Coast people. But we got a really cool, different kind of group of people and some of our regulars as well. So I'm so pumped that you're able to join us, Papa John. And it's really cool that while you're working, you've we're able to, I don't know. I'm not going to say that we're taking credit for like keeping you going or anything like that. But it's really cool to know that when people are at work, they can put on one of these long form live streams and just sort of like, maybe it makes work a little bit easier, or you know what I mean? Maybe it's just, it feels like you're hanging out. That's the kind of vibe that we want to have here on the Davey Deathray channel. So thank you so much and welcome on in, man. Kicking it with the Death Squad for the very first time. I love it. Let's friggin' go. Let's see what else we got here. I just want to make sure I'm saying hi to everybody, and then we will get to the task at hand. To Sony. All right, there we go. Christine Tassoni. Italian, right? It's gotta be. It's gotta be. There we go. I was here when you talked with Daniel from Cobwebs, I think. Hell yeah. Cool. Daniel's great, man. Cobwebs channel. What a friggin' channel. Love what Daniel does over there. Such a positive guy, and man, somebody that I could just listen to while at work, that kind of thing, where the passion and his recounting of these movies, he has like this, his memory is incredible. He can watch a movie and then just like go through it beat by beat with all this enthusiasm. It's just so natural and lovely. Gory Tiger, what's happening, Gory? Hope you are doing well. So great to see ya. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone else. It looks like I am not. Aaron says, I think it's cool you try different times for live streams. Yeah, I think that's just kind of, maybe that's what I'll do here moving forward too, Aaron. You might still get some of those streams that are kind of in the regular times, but a little bit of this, a little bit of that, because especially like for the UK people, if I go earlier in the day, like 11 to 1 my time, it's perfect time for UK people. And then, man, it seems like this 8 p.m. Arizona time is a great time to get a whole, the whole crowd and some new people. So I love it. Taking up your shower time. Well, this is what you do. You get a Bluetooth speaker. This is what I do. I have a Bluetooth waterproof speaker, and I just bring it into the shower and I listen to streams while I wash my bod. Davey, you missed what I said about Josh Allen. I think you'll appreciate it. Where was that, Jamie? I'm about to like cough my brains out here. Let me have a sip of my right now, guys, because I am on like day 106 of not drinking, but I am letting myself have a little Fanta. So I've got my Chucky Punch here tonight. I know it's not good for me, and I'm not going to drink one of these every single day. Jamie says, don't worry about it, Davey. Josh Allen just got engaged, so she's ass out of luck. Yeah, well, and not only did he get engaged, but he got engaged to somebody who's way fucking hotter than she would ever be. Haley Steinfeld, oh my God, or Steinfeld? Not Seinfeld, Steinfeld. Yeah, she's scorching. Holy cow! And the way that she talks in Sinners, oh yeah, boy, you know what I mean. I do appreciate that, Jamie. Thank you so very much. I'm gonna have a sip of this, and then we're gonna get going. Yeah, Keeper is one of those. It's, it certainly has its audience. I really liked it, Aaron. So I watched it a second time and enjoyed it a little bit more. But yeah, total slow burn. But dude, I mean, Osgood Perkins, the guy could film a piece of paper on a table for an hour and a half, and something about it would be riveting to me. I swear to fuck, that's just how it is. Something like that. Yeah, talk about Josh Allen's fiance, and the pants get tight around here on the Davey Deathray channel. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're about 20 minutes in, so let's go ahead and get to it. We're going to be talking about the best sequels in horror franchises. I've already got the first poll up. I'm sure I can just go ahead and close it right now. 32 votes. The first poll is, what is the best sequel in the Halloween franchise? Usually I just do a coin flip, like a 50-50, but Halloween 4 and Halloween 2018 were tied. Okay, so I already know that you guys love Halloween 2 the most, and I didn't want to just do 4 and 2018 against each other. I kind of tricked you guys. I knew if I did 4 and 2018 together, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people that voted for 2 would have voted for 4. I wanted it to be a bit more fair to 2018. A little, not recency bias, but I think there's actually a nostalgia bias when it comes to Halloween 4. That's just my personal thoughts. I'm sure a lot of you guys know my personal thoughts on Halloween 4. I don't think it's bad. But it's kind of in the middle of the ranking, I would say, nowhere near the top. But I'm going to go ahead and close that poll at 33 votes. Let's see what we got on that one. So, of course, Halloween 2, we knew that was your favorite. That got 55% of the 33 votes. Halloween 2018 is officially everyone's second favorite at 24%, and Halloween 4 with 21. So let me go ahead and bring that up. I should have done that first. Fudge you, StreamYard. That's the one we've been using, asshole. And you know what? Halloween 2018, they weren't even tied. Halloween 2018 was winning anyways. So there we go. But Halloween, this is an interesting mix here. Really quick, I'm going to grab Christine's chat. Christine's new. I want to give her a little bit of a spotlight here. This is what we do here, Christine. I know you've been here before, but I just want you to know what we do here is I try to share this space as much as I can with you guys, because this is about community and it's about us sharing our passion. So it's not just me talking at the wall. I love some of those channels, but sometimes I tune in, you know, I'm not going to name any names because it always gets me in trouble. But sometimes I tune in and I'm like, man, I really love this content creator. But every time I hop on a live, it's just them shouting at their screen and hardly any interaction with the audience. And it's like, that's maybe one of the reasons why I started a channel, so I could have a channel that's the way that I want a channel to be, you know? So Christine says Halloween H2O was the first Halloween movie I saw. I was 15 in 1998, and we saw so many movies in the theater that year. You know, Christine, it was the first one I saw in the theater. So I fell in love with the Halloween franchise as a kid. The very first one I saw was Halloween 2. It was on television. So I saw Halloween 2, and then they played Halloween 1 after that. It was the weird days of USA Network when they did, you know, kooky shit like that. But I remember seeing H2O in the theater. I was right about the same age. It came out in the summer, right? So I must have just turned 16. I was born in 82. So must have just, you know, freshly 16, checking out in the theater. I loved it so much. It was just really cool. The novelty of having Jamie Lee Curtis come back was just huge at that time, and so different. It's certainly not that way anymore. But yeah, H2O got a lot of love for me for a long time, but it is fallen in my ranking for certain reasons. Christine, if you haven't checked out my ranking, I did a 2025 updated Halloween franchise ranking. It's right here on the channel. It's a good, like, do some chores and listen, because it's like 44 minutes. But I'm nice even to the movies that I don't like very much. I give the reasons why I like, or the things I like and the things I don't like. So I try to be fair. But yeah, no real surprises here, guys. I know, you know, Halloween 2 is, you know, it's so cool. A movie that takes place on the very same night as the first movie. It's got a very similar feel because, you know, we've got Dean Cundey coming back to be behind the camera. So even though Rick Rosenthal's directing the film, it has so much of that DNA of the original Halloween, a visual DNA as far as the Cundey work goes, and, you know, bringing back Jamie Lee, but also the musical DNA because John Carpenter came back, bringing along Alan Howarth. So there's a little bit more of a kind of carnival sound to the music here, a little bit of a disco kind of feel. Great soundtrack in Halloween 2. Dick Warlock as Michael is a little bit different, but still a really good performance. I mean, it totally mesmerized me as a child and sucked me in, man. I like, very first time seeing this movie, I was like, oh my gosh, this is, I told my parents I want to dress up as him for Halloween. Like, boom, full stop, you know, very first time seeing the movie. So Halloween 2, even though it's got its little bit of lulls in there, and Jamie is, you know, kind of sidelined for a lot of it. I should say Laurie is sidelined and all drugged out. But it all makes sense as far as the story goes. And I do think, you know, a phrase I've been using here quite a bit lately on the channel is a film or a piece of art needs to justify its own existence, right? Just because people want more and it's just bleh, a little bit of more, you know, doesn't really put it in a place that's where it is justifying its own existence. I do think Halloween 2 does that to a certain degree. And however you feel about the brother-sister angle and how they, you know, worked it in and then later on abandoned it with David Gordon Green, I know a lot of people really dig it. I know people dig the brother-sister angle, and I know that there are people out there that think they're sure they would have liked the David Gordon Green movies if they had kept that. So I think Halloween 2 does justify its own existence. And I'm kind of surprised to see 2018 as the second place in this poll. I thought it would for sure be Halloween 4. Let me see. I'm missing all your guys' chats because I'm just blah blah blahing. So let me jump back on over. I'd had all that talk about sharing the space with you guys, and I'm like, let me go on a diatribe. Here we go with the Halloween 4 slander. Sure, if that's what you want to call it, Ashton. If that's what you want to call it. There are plenty of channels that will praise and glaze Halloween 4, right? Keelan says, I voted 2018. I think it's just a better movie overall. Yeah, I think so too. I think nostalgia glasses definitely help people pick some of these movies. And the fact that, like, for some of us, we've been watching Halloween 2, like for me, since 1990. You know, I was like 8 or something like that when I first saw it on TV. So a movie you've been watching for 35 years versus a movie that just came out 7 years ago. Like there's probably going to be a little more love there, right? So I do try to step back and take a fair look at how I feel about these movies for sure. Halloween 4, I just find forgettable. Me too, a little bit, Shoddy. I would say it's I always call it's just like a soft reboot. Feels like a remake pretty much, other than the fact that they reference things that happened before it. It feels very similar to the first Halloween. Thought it was a good return for Michael. I agree. I mean, I'm so pumped that Michael came back. I'm not against the idea of Halloween movies being anthological, different every year. That would have been cool too. But I love Michael Myers. He's the king of slashers to me. So super pumped. Yeah. Halloween 4 is my second favorite Halloween movie, but it's not better than 2018 in my opinion. I like the fairness. I like the fairness and the awareness, Keelan. No, Halloween 4 is Return of Michael Myers, but YouTube wouldn't let me put that whole title in the voting thing because they limit the amount of characters you can put in. Jamie voted for 2018, just bored with Halloween 2. Don't come for me, my people. I hear you. I am, I like Halloween 2, but I do like Halloween. I think Halloween 2018 is the better sequel to the first movie for sure. Halloween 2 isn't perfect, says Davey James, but it's one of the better sequels. It certainly is that. Yes. Let's see here. The Halloween film I like the most isn't on the poll. The Halloween film I enjoy most is Halloween 6 Curse of Michael Myers, but Halloween 2 is definitely the best sequel. Fair enough. I really like Curse a lot too, guys. I like Curse more than I like Halloween 4. That's one of my hot takes in the Halloween franchise. Yeah, I think Curse is better than 4. Or at least I enjoy it more than 4, for sure. I think George P. Wilbur does a better job playing Michael. I think the mask is like infinitely better. Good God, that mask in Halloween 4. Let's see here. Keelan says, I wasn't even born when you were watching H2O in theaters. So jealous. It was an exciting time, man. It was cool. It was, pretty awesome. What's happening? DJ Plays Favorites. How are you doing? Welcome on in. Says, hello, everyone, and even the mod squad. Well, they should get they shouldn't be an even. They should just get a hello, right? And even you guys, and even the boss mans. Yeah. Lido says, my first Halloween in theaters was 4, The Return of Michael Myers. I was working at a movie theater when H2O came out. Saw it about 5 times in the theater. There you go. Yeah, it was an exciting time, man. It was just to have her back after 20 years. And it seemed like so long then. Like, I remember being a high schooler telling my mom, Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back. It's been 20 years. And we're almost 30 years removed from Halloween 2 at this point. Papa John says, I voted for 2018. Sorry, guys. Some of my hairs and my mustache want to like flip up and tickle my nose. And it's driving me absolutely insane. Papa John says, I voted for 2018, but neither of these movies are my favorites. Favorite Ends and the RZ films are my favorites. I love how different they are from the rest. Well, now I understand why you like hanging around here at the Davey Deathray channel, Papa John, because Ends is my favorite sequel in the franchise. And I would say Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is, I don't think it quite cracked the top third, but it's like right outside of there. I really love Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I just love some of the other movies a little bit more. We got Tia Nina in the house. How you doing, Tia? Welcome on in. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Really appreciate you. Let's see what else we got going on here. Everyone's just saying what up, what up, what up. Okay, so it seems like we've exhausted our Halloween talk. That's great. I like that when there's a nice clear cut sort of distinction, right? Let's see here. Aaron says, I feel people unfairly criticize the scene where she doesn't scream till Loomis and crew are in the hospital. She can't muster a scream right away. She's weak and drugged up. Yes. And she's been through this incredible trauma. I always say it like that because that's how Jamie Lee says it. Yeah, it's one of those things where when you watch a movie and you watch it fucking 20 times, at some point you're going to be like, why doesn't she just scream? But yeah, there is a reason why she's, fumbling around the hospital in general and barely making it around. At one point, she just like hides from Michael and takes a nap, and he just happens to not find her, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. In Halloween 2, there's a point where she just like tucks into a room. I can't remember if she like grabs a phone and tries to call someone or something, and she just passes out. And it's like, man, she could have never woken up from that one if Michael happened to find her, and he just doesn't. So yeah, there is a reason why, for sure. T. Parker Evans says, crazy. I find Halloween 2 overrated. It's the lazy version of the original, but with more blood and a bad wig. I think it's those things too. I don't know if it's a lazy I think lazy might be a little too far. But yeah, it's a movie that John Carpenter never wanted to have exist. So I guess I don't want to call the movie lazy, but I suppose you can say that when John Carpenter was writing it, he wasn't putting his all and his best into the script. And I suppose the word that you could use for that is lazy. So I'm not going to fight you on that one, T. Yeah, overrated. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I enjoy the movie, but I think it's fair to say that it's overrated. What's happening, Super Tenor? How you doing? One of our great channel members. Welcome on in. Hope you are doing well. Halloween 4 would be a perfect movie if they got the mask right. Yeah, or if they just kept the bandages. Just something. Yeah, it would have been way better. I would love to see a deep fake where they put the real mask on him, or they just go with the bandaged look and they just, I think the technology is there. We have the technology to do it. They should do something like that with Halloween 4, just for us fans. I don't have the ability to do that, but if there's somebody out there in visual effects that's a big Halloween fan, give us that cut, man. Give us that cut. I think that if the portrayal of Michael were better in Halloween 4, it would probably be up a couple spots in my ranking. I think it would beat out Curse if Michael looked good, halfway decent even. Yeah. It is true. Yes, that is true. And it's also, there's like a dreamy kind of quality to it. When you're in a dream and you try to scream, or you try to punch somebody, or you try to run and there's just no oomph behind any of it. Yeah. I think that's kind of what they're hinting at there. Tia, one of our great channel members, by the way, I didn't even say that earlier. My apologies, Tia, says Halloween 2 scared me more as a kid just because of the hospital setting. That's something that I've had people bring up to me. Leanna Bevy Rage, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods here, and honestly, just a really good friend of mine. She had an experience where she was in a hospital for an extended amount of time. And she said I can't remember I think she might have even watched Halloween 2 when she was in the hospital, but she was like, it really is that way at night sometimes, where there is that emptiness. And there is something a little more eerie and scary about it. And then, yeah, when you're going through something, or maybe you've had surgeries and then you are a little doped up, and you can really relate with, how much like reality there is in Halloween 2. So, and I mean, they do justify it in the sense where, Laurie is protesting to be drugged. She's a minor. She's 17, right? As far as we know, I think she's supposed to be 17 in the film. And against her will, she's being drugged, doped up. It's crazy. It is a pretty frightening thing. It might be, I think, one of the most frightening things in Halloween 2. I've joked about it before, but it is kind of scary if you think about it from a real world perspective. A drunken doctor drugging an underage girl against her will with the help of the hospital staff is in and of itself. Like if you just took that sentence, you could write a scary short story just with that sentence, have it have nothing to do with Halloween or a masked killer, and you could still write a horror story from that. So I totally hear you, Tia. I love this, guys. This is what the channel is all about. I love hearing all of your guys' thoughts. I love going back and forth. I don't think anyone has to be right or has to be wrong. I love the discussion, man. Like that's what really gets my juices flowing. Not in that way. Head out of the gutter, Brooke. Come on. Come on. Let's see what else we got going on here. Nothing beats the Halloween, the OG, the rest are just carbon copies. Well, but we're here to talk about the sequels. So we're not saying that any of them are better, you know, and if you think one of the sequels is better, that's cool too. We're just here. We're not here to negate the originals. We're just here to talk about which sequel or remake might be the better or the better entry. So yes, I agree with you, DJ. But yeah, we're just we're here to shine a little light on something else here tonight. Lido says, since I played Halloween 2 shape for that ad, how could I not vote for 2? I love Curse as well. Yeah, no, I totally hear you guys. If you haven't seen like Lido's cosplay, I mean, he does cosplay so well that he gets invited out to events to do it. And I haven't said this in a while, so hopefully it's not like I'm not repeating it too much. And hopefully I'm not embarrassing you, Lido. You can let me know and I'll shut up about it. But I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen that meme of like topless Michael, you know, leaning with his arm, like leaning on the surfboard. That's Lido. So I've seen that place. I saw that picture all over the place, even before meeting Lido. And Lido, I think, did we meet because you had happened to come into a chat, or did we find each other some other way? I can't even remember at this point, but I'm so happy that we did get to meet. And guys, we're planning on bringing Lido onto the channel because he's a massive A Nightmare on Elm Street fan, and we need to talk some Freddy Krueger on here because we have not given Freddy enough spotlight here on the channel. Curse does rule. It does, yeah. I think Halloween 2 drags a bit too. Yes, I absolutely agree. There are some really deep valleys in that movie for sure. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Davey 100, it was an exciting time to see H2O in theaters. It was my first. Yeah, I figure we're probably about the same age, Brooke. I graduated in 2000, so I figure we would have been high school classmates if we were in the same town. So yeah, it was, you know, right after Scream had popped off, and I Know What You Did Last Summer was maybe just right around the corner, or it just come out. I can't remember if it was a summer movie or if it was later on. But yeah, it was this resurgence of pop, mainstream, accessible slashers, and it was really cool to, like, at that time as a kid, as a teen, I was like, oh, they're giving Michael their flowers, you know. It was pretty awesome. Super Tenor says Halloween 4 was my first theater experience, then part 5 was ass. First theater experience period, or just first experience with the franchise? Very curious to know. Okay, let me see here. I'm not trying to, you know, skip anyone's chats, but we've been talking about this one for almost 20 minutes, so maybe we need to move on here. But I know, it's Halloween. We're kind of a Halloween channel. I'm not really... Guys, what do you think? What am I? What am I on YouTube? You know, Nick from the Lost River Drive-In, my good buddy, he calls himself, he's a Halloween guy. You know, I think Lee from Drum Dums is another Halloween guy, right? And then we've got, like, our, you know, Cody Leach is like the Chucky guy, you know, and then there's Cecil Laird from the Horror Show channel is the Freddy guy, right? Even though he says he also wants to be the Chucky guy. Can't be everything, Cecil. Cecil told me, he's like, oh, you're the live stream guy. And I'm like, is that what I am? I don't know. Let me know. But I do know that we talk about Halloween quite a bit. So I'm going to get a few more of your chats here, and then we'll cruise on over to the next one. Oh, and just so you know, we do have a super chat goal here. Certainly not required. Super chat goals are just for fun. But you know, if we get 5 super chats of $4.99 or more, I'll host a bonus stream this weekend. And what I'll do is I'll just poll you guys for what kind of stream you would want. Okay. Okay. Oh, I just burped and I couldn't even control whether or not it came out. There you go. You get a little, you know, what's nice though is when I burp on a live stream, at least you guys don't have to smell it. How about that? Davey James says, I love the original run of Halloween movies over the reboots. I just don't count Resurrection, and it's a good series. Yeah, you know, and so you're talking about the Rob Zombie two Rob Zombie movies, because I don't really consider 2018 a reboot, because it is technically it's a sequel to the first movie, right? So I mean, I get what you're saying. It does feel like a reboot in a lot of ways. It's really cool to watch Halloween and then go to Halloween 2018, which I've done. I haven't done the whole, like, all four, but I have done Halloween and then immediately watched 2018 after, and it is kind of cool, especially for how many times I've watched 1 and 2 back to back, to just kind of shake it up. I love that about the Halloween franchise. I mean, it's amazing. Let's see here. First Halloween movie in the theaters was 2018, but I was raised on Halloween. Yeah, man, I saw 2018, like Halloween 2018 and Evil Dead 2013. I think I saw both of those like 4 or 5 times in the theater. Yeah. Let's see here. She does like to take naps. We're going to talk a little Friday the 13th tonight. Don't you worry. Let's see. Davey Deathray, that's why this channel is awesome. Some of your top Halloweens are at the bottom of my list. My top are at the bottom, i.e. Resurrection. Yeah, you know, it is, there's so many things that people disagree about in this world. For people to get worked up over their opinions on art, I think is like, oh man. Luckily, I don't see really any of that here in this chat. And I don't see it like that much, at least in the part of the horror sphere on YouTube that I dip into. I know that exists though, because I see it on Twitter where people are just like, it's all hyperbole, and it's just, I mean, Twitter to me, I could be bothered by it, but I also don't take it seriously enough. It's just kind of a joke. So I'm there for all the jokes, good jokes, bad jokes, whatever. Oh, let's see here. What do we got? Okay, I think it's time that maybe we can move on here. King Matthew III says, Halloween H2O kind of lost me at the end, where it was revealed that it was someone else under the Michael Myers mask, and then it's revealed that Laurie killed an innocent person. Well, that was Resurrection. So technically, if you just end your experience at H2O and you don't watch Resurrection, then for all intents and purposes, it is Michael Myers. But I get what you mean. It was a weird thing. Yeah, the Fan-Aid cut. We need it. The bandages. There we go. There we go. Let's see what else we got. What else do we got here? Christine, I see your comment there. Pretty funny. That the doctor was in the Epstein file. I'm okay with a quick little Epstein joke. I almost made one on another person's stream, but I get it. Yeah, we don't dive into the minutia of politics. But fuck that guy. That's what I'll say. Not literally, like, you know, figuratively. Let's see here. What do we got? Oh, we got Billy Judd kicking it with us. What's happening, Billy? Hope you're doing well, man. So good to see you. Let's go. Just a horror in general guy. Okay, I like it. You get a little bit of everything from the Davey Deathray channel. I love that. Brett is a Friday the 13th guy. I thought you were a you're next kind of guy, Brett. You're a Rob Zombie Halloween 2 kind of guy. I mean, I for sure am a Michael Myers guy, but holy cow, there are some YouTubers I couldn't keep up. I couldn't compete. And nor would I want to like try. I try to compete with myself. But I think I've said this, you know, a few times where it's like, there's a lot of ground that's already been covered. I certainly don't want to jump in and be like, well, somebody did this video, I'm going to do the same video and just give my take on it. That's one reason why I don't do like, you know, traditional reviews here. You know, reviewing the Halloween movies, it's like I just kind of roll my eyes at like, what would I say that would have any sort of impact? Although maybe the views would be good. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing out. If you guys want me to review these movies, tell me. Yeah, there you go. There you go. We got Dean Renner in the house, one of our great channel members, Death Squad mods, and Patreon members as well. Dean is a triple threat, and he's got his own channel called Enter the Cinevault. Dean's got a great voice. Great voice. Yeah, I think you can call it a requel. Yeah, because it does feel like it has reboot kind of tendencies, but it's also technically a sequel. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and shift gears. We are going to dive into a different franchise here. We're going to take a look at The Omen. full disclosure, I've only seen the first film in the franchise and the movie called The First Omen. Guys, it's so confusing. I don't know why they did it this way. Because if you're just having a conversation with somebody and you're like, oh, did you watch The First Omen? They'd be like, oh, yeah, I love that 70s movie. It's a classic. It's a classic horror. You know, you got Gregory Peck and David Warner in there. Like, oh, it's amazing. No, I meant The First Omen. Yeah, no, The First Omen's great. No, the movie called The First Omen. It was released in 2024, and it's a prequel. You know, it's kind of a who's on first situation. But those are the only two I've seen, the original and then The First Omen, 2024. So this is, some of these I just sort of went into blind. And of course, if there's more entries in the series, I looked up what the most popular entries are. So here we have picking between Damien, which is the Omen 2, the Omen 3, the Final Conflict, with our guy, why am I forgetting his name right now? He's in the Mouth of Madness, Sam Neill, very, very great actor. And then the Omen from 2006, the remake with Liev Schreiber, and then of course the First Omen from 2024. So 199 votes, just under 200. Some decent engagement on the likes here. So it was pretty all right sample size. I am surprised that The First Omen is the one winning this one, because I think most of the comments, people were jumping in to say Damien. Damien is the best one. But I noticed that sometimes in the comments, people will be like, hey, the one that I like isn't winning. So I'm going to jump into the comments and say why it should be. So let me get this poll going for you guys. As Stephanie Hinkle says, one of our great channel members, Davey loves his polls. I just love riding these polls. I don't know. What is the best movie? Best sequel? Ooh, I guess sequel, prequel in the Omen franchise. There we go. So we're going to do Damien, which is Omen 2. I guess I need to see Omen 2, because sounds like this one's pretty good. Or The First Omen. And I'm going to put in there, just so no one gets confused, I will put 2024. So no one thinks that I'm trying to do anything weird there. So there you go. That poll is up for you guys to vote on which one you prefer. I just saw The First Omen 2024 last week before. It was pretty all right. I liked it. I've said my opinion a couple times on it, but since we're, highlighting it here for this stream, Immaculate and The First Omen came out like right around the same time. I think just probably within about a month or two of each other. I preferred Immaculate. It was a bit of a kind of a stranger story, I think. The First Omen has some things that I really enjoyed. What's his name? Ralph Ineson. I don't know. Does everybody pronounce their name Rafe over there? If it's spelled like Ralph, I don't know. If there's a Brit in the house, let me know. But that guy's voice is incredible. I wish he were a bigger part of the movie, honestly, because he dips out for a huge portion of the movie. But I could kind of see the writing on the wall and where everything was leading with The First Omen. I felt like Immaculate was a little bit more of a what the fuck's really going on here kind of thing. And honestly, I think maybe a little more disturbing. Other than there's like a shot or two in The First Omen where you're like, oh my gosh. But other than that, I gotta say I was like relatively underwhelmed. I thought The First Omen was gonna go a lot harder than it did, just based on what I heard from people who enjoyed it and spoke about it. So I'm gonna see what you guys are saying here. I'm gonna have a sip of my Chucky Punch here. Oh my goodness, there we go. Your Next isn't as good as Ready or Not. See, I prefer it, but I think that it is kind of a coin flip. Yeah, I think Ready or Not's pretty fun. I do think it's the best radio silence movie I've seen. I'll say that for sure. I've only seen each movie once, so I'm not the... I'm definitely not... I'd probably need to watch them both again, maybe back to back, and see, which one I'm feeling more. But I really enjoyed Your Next. And I do think Margot Robbie is absolutely stunning. I mean, that much is obvious, right? The Poop Smith's job is obvious. But what's her name, Brett? Is it Shawnee Vinson? Is that the name of the actress in Your Next? She is super. I mean, I think she's really gorgeous too, and I love her friggin' bangs. Her bangs are so rocking. I know. I talk about hair a lot here. I swear. I swear it's just something I do. But it's been a long time since I talked about Mel from My Killer Podcast hair, so I'm doing well. I'm doing well, Mel. Yeah, I think they're pretty damn close. And I think that Tia jumped in and said that would make a good poll. Yeah, I think you're dead on. Yeah, I think that would make a good poll. Maybe we will have to. I'm all three franchise love, but not Nightmare. Not a fan of my Nightmare on Elm Street. It's my least favorite, I would say. Yeah, I would say on that one. I've only seen the OG, the remake, and the first Omen. Okay, well, you got more of a sample size than I do, for sure. Blu-ray voted Omen 2. Billy says the first Omen. Miss Candy is not a fan of any of them. I'm interested in seeing the remake just to see like how it stacks up against that original. Blu-ray Addict says hot take. I think Omen 2 is better than the original. Let me know, guys, if you've seen at least the first two in the franchise. What do you think? Is Damien a better movie than the original? It does get a lot of love. I saw Blue. I don't know if you were the one that jumped in the comments section on this poll, but I've seen just, not only just on the poll, but other places where people have said that. So I'm curious, very curious. There you go. Aaron Click likes Damien Omen 2 more than the movie called The First Omen. There you go. There it is for that. Papa John says I haven't seen any of the Omen films. Yeah, I've got so many gaps in my. I get, Aaron called me the general horror guy, but I'm still trying to catch up on some stuff. Only watch the remake, so I can't say much. Let's see here. Never seen any of these. Omen 2 is the best one, says Jamie. Best one in the whole franchise, even better than the original. Miss Candy says, I wish there were more Fog movies. The Fog is a really cool, like the original Fog is just a great ghost story, just a cool campfire kind of story. I love it. I don't know how you would sequelize it like per se, because it seems, as far as I can remember, there's a pretty good like bookend on the end of the story and everything like that. But I do think there's a way. I know it got remade and it was really horrendous. I think there is a way to do a far better remake of The Fog, or just something that's very similar. I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if we would have gotten more stories kind of like that if Halloween stayed an anthology after Season of the Witch. If Michael Myers never came back, I think we would have gotten stories that sort of felt like The Fog a little bit more. Yeah. Still haven't watched the first Omen. I think it's definitely worth watching if you enjoy these movies, Blue. That's what I would say. Yeah, Liev Schreiber was in that 06 remake. Never seen it, but I don't even know who else is in it, although I can, it looks like there's some names here, but I just can't read them on the screen. We got David hanging out. What's happening? David says, tired, but trying to stay up a tad longer. I sure do appreciate it. We're going to get to, we've got some really, really fun stuff. I mixed things up. I didn't want to do all the big three back to back to back. I wanted to shake things up a notch. Or just a little bit. So, not Mario. Same person, right? Blonde white women. Can't tell the difference. You know what I mean? It will. Yeah. Davey James says Ready or Not was a lot of fun. It's true. It was. I do think it's the best. I'm not too hot on Radio Silence, but I think that's their best effort for sure. I've only seen the movie once, and they do look the same. It is true. They could be sisters. Is Samara Weaving maybe just a little prettier? It's not important, but I'm starting to consider it now. Well, just, I guess it's just like whatever fits, right? Different things fit different people. Not everyone has to have the same kinds of things to look good or anything like that. But there is something about that. I call it wild woman hair. A shaggy kind of 70s, early 80s look. I love it, man. I love a lot of hair. I'm into that. Yeah, I dig that stuff. Like, give me your cave woman hair, drag me into the cave and okay, I'm going to stop it right there. My dad actually made the same mistake while talking to me last week. Oh, talking about the first Omen. Yeah, the first Omen. Yeah, I know the Omen movie from like the 70s. No. The first Omen. Who's on first? Keeping a mental list. Fair enough. I'm trying to I can't even keep the mental list straight, Stephanie, because there's just so much that I like, and sometimes I don't know until I see it. I feel like we have enough info to find Davey a new girlfriend now. Davey, I appreciate that. I want to say something funny, and I just don't know if it's going to be funny. I don't know if you could find someone that could put up with me. I think that's the trick right there, is finding somebody that could put up with me long enough. Margot is much hotter than Samara, in my humble blonde aficionado opinion. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I'll lean that way. Maybe I'm just not like, I watched that second Suicide Squad movie. I just really found it super annoying, and every character was really annoying, and I really didn't like the movie at all. And so maybe I just am not super hot on Margot Robbie as a result of that. I don't know. Tight pants time. Yeah, she is a total babe. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that if I had to pick between the two, I don't know. Yeah, Samara Weaving was in Ash versus Evil Dead before she really popped off. T. Parker says, I agree with Ready or Not is Radio Silence best film. Yeah. Okay, let's go on to our next one. We've talked about The Omen enough, it seems like, for how you guys are feeling about it, but I didn't want to leave The Omen out. You can't leave I couldn't leave it out just because I've only seen 2 movies in the franchise. Let's go ahead and close this poll. 16 votes. So yeah, that's one that it's the opposite of Terrifier, where you guys are very engaged with Terrifier. Now I know, don't put out a video about The Omen. Just don't do it. 16 votes. Damien Omen 2 gets 69 nice % of the vote, and the first Omen gets 31%. So there it is, and let's move on to our next sequel. What is the best Friday the 13th sequel? Ooh. And I picked, I don't even know, I don't think I looked at a list to get these. I was just like, you know what? I know most people say Final Chapter or Jason Lives. I really love part 2, and I know a lot of people really love part 3. So I just went with those, and I know other movies in the franchise get love. I get it. A lot of people are part 5 fans, and then you got people that I guess they just want to make a point, and they say that Jason Takes Manhattan is the best movie in the franchise. I don't know about that. But yeah, let me go ahead and get a poll going. The final chapter, it's going to be the Final Chapter versus Jason Lives. We've actually done this versus battle here on the channel. My buddy Mark and I, we had Vincent DeSanti on with us. Amazing to bring on Vin to talk Friday the 13th anytime it happens, but especially when it comes to picking which is the best. And I think Jason Lives barely beat the Final Chapter. So it literally was like a coin flip. And here, I mean, in this poll, 356 votes, pretty good sample size. Great engagement on the likes and the comments. So you guys were here for this one. And man, 47% to 27%, pretty massive void there, or chasm between the two. Let's see if it's a little closer. Let's see if it flips in the middle. I know you guys have voted on these 2 movies previously on that other stream, but I'm just curious with the audience we have here now, because man, things have changed. The channel has seen so much growth and so much awesome momentum because you guys are amazing. So maybe it'll be a little bit different now. What is the best sequel in the Friday the 13th franchise? The Final Chapter or Jason Lives? There we go. And Jamie, really quick, I don't know if you saw my message in Instagram that I sent to you and Dez. Got back on the Twin Peaks train last night and watched a couple episodes. Duchovny showed up, and I certainly wasn't prepared for that. I'll just say that. I don't want to ruin it for anyone that hasn't seen Twin Peaks, but I was like, oh, wow. Like, this is ahead of its time and handled very, very well. God, that show is just so comforting. There's something so good about Twin Peaks. If you haven't seen it, guys, I haven't watched it all the way through. Please don't spoil anything if you can hold back. But yeah, good stuff. Right out of the gate, 16 votes just like that. Whew. Oh my goodness. Took us like 30 minutes to get 16 votes on The Omen, but right out of the gate, another 69-31. Nice. Final chapter winning so far. Let's see if any of that changes. Guys, it says we've got 33 people in here right now, so let's get those votes up. And if you haven't hit that like button, make sure to smack it around. You know, just smack that like button around. It really does help. Honestly, it helps bring other people into the stream that maybe might be finding the channel for the very first time. For the very first time. 30 watchers, but only 7 likes. 7 likes? No. Oh, no. We can do better than that, right? Holy cow, we got Trashbox Mandy in the house, one of our great channel members. How are you doing, Amanda? So good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, thank you. Let's see here. I love mostly all the Friday the 13th movies. Even Manhattan can be fun. I agree, it can be fun. When people say it's their favorite or the best, I'm just like, But maybe if you like kind of like more corny side of horror, I think that's fair, you know? I mean, some people might prefer, yeah, you'd like stuff like Leprechaun or, I mean, I like Leprechaun and Critters and all that, but if that's like your favorite, that's your bread and butter, then yeah, I guess you are probably going to legitimately gravitate towards something like Jason Takes Manhattan. Yeah. Let's see what we got here, what you guys are saying. Papa John says part 2 is by far my favorite. It's the only Friday the 13th I own a physical copy of. All right. What do you got it on? Do you have an old VHS? That'd be killer. It is my third favorite, Papa John. I go Jason Lives Final Chapter Part 2. I really love Part 2 quite a bit. My vote here between the two is the final chapter, but I think part 3 is my actual vote. All right. Yeah, you and Leanna Bevy raged both. She's a big fan of part 3 as well. Rewatched the final chapter during this year's Friday the 13th. Hell yeah, Tia. Yeah, I try to cram in as many as I can. Yes. Is it damn the torpedoes or man the torpedoes? I could never figure out what it is. I could never figure out which one. Paula Fitzhenry says final chapter. Jason Carpenter says Jason Lives all day long. I was born in 1986, and then you get that awesome Alice Cooper jam. Yes. Oh, but he's back. He's the man behind the mask, and he's out of control. So good. So good. The final chapter, in my opinion, is definitely better than Jason Lives. Definitely better. All right. I think they're pretty close, but yeah, it's your opinion. You get to have it. Yeah. We got Eli Cortez in the house. What's happening, Eli? So great to see you. One of our channel members in Death Squad mods. Yeah. Davey says Ginny is my favorite final girl in the Friday the 13th movies. Yeah. Amy Steele. What a performance. I think she's tops. If I had to pick best final girl, yes, I'm going with her. I think she's better. Like, I love Megan in Jason Lives, but it's more about like the chemistry that Megan and Tommy have together, and Tommy is clearly like the final guy in that movie, right? So yeah, I would go Ginny all day long. It would have been cool to see her in another movie. I got to meet Amy Steele. She actually, that mask that's up there, what the heck's going on? I'd be a terrible weatherman. That mask. I've got an Amy Steele signature on there. Lido says, this is tough because I love both of these so much. Both have such great scores too. Although 6 might edge out 4 on that one. Yeah, I think 6, there's just something about it. It's like the very first meta horror film. Even before New Nightmare and Scream, it is doing all of those things pretty much. So yeah, there's that element too, the humor, the rat-a-tat of like the rhythm of the dialogue and performances. Man, Jason Lives is very tough to beat. The final chapter is your sort of quintessential 80s slasher. It has all the elements you're looking for, but I think I prefer Jason Lives. Yeah, there you go. In the Twin Peaks finale, Michael Myers shows up. That would be dope. That would probably make it one of my favorite shows. Yes, don't forget to slash that like button and sub to this amazing channel and consider becoming a mighty member of the Mighty Death Squad for some awesome perks. Part 2 is definitely the sequel I've watched the most. I really love the final chapter too, says Linda. Yeah. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Yeah, Jamie, smacking that, showing the peaches. I love it. I haven't seen any Omen or Friday the 13th. Well, Christine, the Friday the 13th are really fun. The Omen is totally a different kind of movie, you know, like a religious sort of horror. Friday the 13th is just like a wild roller coaster ride, and they get like a little sillier, like in the late 80s. They're really fun. I can put any one of these movies on pretty much at any time of the year and have a good time with it. Halloween's my favorite franchise, but Friday the 13th second, and just so much friggin' fun. Twin Peaks, this whole time I thought you meant the restaurant. Oh yeah, or the booties are hanging out. Yeah, now that place is fun too. That place is fun too. I don't know if it's as good as the show. Why not? I think they represent butts. Brett, I think they represent butts. And remember the discussion we were having the other day? I'm not going to bring it up, but yeah. Butsoverboobs.com. You know what I mean? Part 2 in a steelbook. Dope. I figured, I was like, it's got to be VHS or it's got to be some like special edition or something like that. Thank you for sharing, Papa John. Appreciate you. Okay, I'm just gonna dip into the it is damn, it's damn the torpedoes and damn the man. There you go. Damn the man, save the empire. Yeah, my voice is not what it usually is when I sing that one, so I apologize for my scratchy ass falsetto. Yeah, cram in as many as you can. Yeah, just go ahead and stuff them in, you know, DVDA, something like that. Let's just go ahead and do it. Let's see here. It's getting a little closer. 28 votes, 61 to 39 right now. 29 votes, 62-38. So it looks like the final chapter is going to take this one. Let me just go through and grab a couple more of your chats. Amanda, are you in there still? TB, Trashbox, where are you? Are you there? Which one do you like more? I need to know. You're still saying hi to everybody. I appreciate that. But Amanda, between the final chapter and Jason Lives, which one do you like more? Lito says, I love Amy Steele. God, I was so in love with her. Yeah, man, she's a super cutie. She's still a cutie. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Super. She was very sweet. Like, I got to meet her and Adrian King, Ken Kersinger. You know, I got to meet Kane Hodder. That was all this last summer. And then, you know, I worked the horror show table with Vincent DeSanti and Ron Sloan, who plays Junior from Part 5, A New Beginning. He was there, you know, working with him. That was actually the second time I've worked with Ron. It was really cool. So I got 6 signatures on my Jason mask as of now. So I'm pumped to like meet more people from the franchise and get as many signatures as I can. So most everyone was really sweet. There was only one kind of awkward. It was kind of a bummer, awkward thing. It was weird. Started out normal, and then it got a little weird, didn't it? Let's see here. Have a great night, Shoddy. Have a good day at school tomorrow, bud. Shoddy's he's just a young buck, you know. Still got to get up for hike school. There you go. Good luck on your test, bud. The mighty, mighty, mighty Death Squad, like the mighty, mighty Boss Stones, but one more mighty in there. Jason X is plenty of fun. I mean, it's got a little bit of a low budge kind of look and all that stuff, but man, it's got some. I think it's a movie that doesn't take itself too seriously. Love seeing David Cronenberg at the beginning of that as well. Good stuff. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Okay, looks like we are all caught up on your guys' Friday the 13th comments. Yeah, I mean, I'll say a couple things really quick here. Jason Lives is absolutely my favorite in this franchise. It used to be the final chapter when I first you know, I saw these as a kid, but then when I became an adult and like actually purchased copies of them and started watching them regularly and really like being able to differentiate between all of them, the final chapter was originally my favorite from this franchise. I mean, Crispin Glover's great. You got the Doublemint twins in there. They're awesome. Judy Aronson, which is just, I mean, she is so friggin' gorgeous in this movie. Oh my goodness. Oh my damn. And yeah, I mean, there's Corey Feldman's really good. There's Ted White's an amazing Jason. The grunting, the running, like there's so much to love about the final chapter. But Jason Lives is so much fun. And it has all of those other things that I love. Really, the only thing that Jason Lives doesn't have that the final chapter has is nudity. And I don't really need that in a movie. I mean, it's like, it's fun to hoot and holler when it happens and all that stuff. And when I was younger, maybe it was, I don't know if it was more important, but more exciting. But yeah, Jason Lives, man. It's just Tom Matthews' performance as Tommy Jarvis is so good. That opening is great. That throwback to the Universal monsters, and then all of the meta jokes, and I don't know. There's just something about Jason Lives. It just really, really works for me. I mean, part 2 and part 3, I enjoy quite a bit. I think part 3 would probably be loved even more if there wasn't all of the 3D kind of stuff behind it. If the effects just were great effects and they weren't trying to do something 3D with them, because I think the 3D, you know, particularly with what's his face, who gets the head crush and the eyeball pops out, there's just a couple of those kills that you know, probably look better in 3D than they do outside of 3D. So there you go. Yeah, where is Amanda? Oh, there she goes. Sorry, just popped in, but I'm gonna take off. Have a good night, all. Have a lovely rest of your evening, Amanda. Hope you have a great night's sleep, and we'll see you next time around. Okay, let's go ahead and close this poll here. 30 votes. See what we got. Okay, so a little bit closer than what the poll started out as. 30 votes. The final chapter wins with 63% to Jason Lives 37%. Fair enough. Fair enough. I know I'm not going to be able to convince everybody to come on over to the Jason Lives side, but you know, the seats are warm here. We got really nice buttery popcorn. We have red vines and Twizzlers, so you know, you're losing out, I guess, is what I got to say about that. Let's go ahead. A dude who got his head crushed and lost his eye was watching Peaches. He is very, I'm going to bring that up here, Jamie. I saw it on the YouTube side of things when I was closing out the poll. Yeah, why can't I remember this character's name? He really is all about that. All about just like, you know, hitting that. But here's the thing though, Chris does lead him on. That doesn't mean that she owes him anything. I mean, I guess if anything, she owes him just to be like, hey, I'm really not, like, just say you're really not feeling it from the beginning, because he really puts himself out there repeatedly. He even says like, hey, I could have hung out with somebody else and I chose to hang out with you. So it seems like there's something about her that he likes, not just the but he is trying to like connect with her. And he does seem like he's a little, maybe he's like 10 years older than her, so maybe he needs to go bark up some other tree. But yeah, she puts him to work. She makes him like lift up all the hay into the barn and everything like that, and she has no intention of even like smooching this guy. Kind of a cock tease, right? Kind of a cock tease. Aaron says Jason is truly terrifying in part 3. He taunts and hisses. It's creepy. Does he hiss? I didn't know that when he lifts the mask. I always thought that was like, I didn't even know if that was a hiss for sure. Yeah, Richard Brooker, just the way that they built the traps, the way that he really is he's more monstrous. And I mean, even with the mask on, he looks more monstrous, and he is a mountain of a man. Richard Brooker is massive. I think Jason's pretty scary in part 2 because he is like running. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think 2, 3, and 4 have the scariest Jasons. Yeah, for sure. Jason versus the telekinetic teenager. That's a cool name. That is a more clever name than the New Blood, right? Yep. No one knows. No one is putting in the chat what this guy's name is. What is this guy's name that just wants Chris so bad but can't get it no matter what he does? Right? Millions of peaches. Peaches for me. Look out. God, guys, I love the presidents of the United States of America. You guys know I'm a huge music guy. Music's my very first love. I love music more than movies, but I talk movies because you can talk movies here. Man, the presidents of the United States of America, one of the most, I think of all time, one of the most original rock and roll bands. Like after the Beatles, a lot of bands just sound like kind of variations of like Beatles-y sort of stuff. I'm not saying that there's no originality. I'm just saying that I think the Beatles really like opened things up as far as like what rock and roll could do. And then a lot of, bands after that are deriving something from them. A lot of bands, not every band, but holy shit. The presidents of the United States of America, no one sounds like them, and they don't really sound like anyone. And they wrote beautiful songs. I love their shit. I've got some of their stuff on vinyl, and I'm very, very happy that I do. And even after they were, I know I'm total tangent here. Even after, I think 2 was the last one where they really had a single. They had like that Mach 5 single. They had a song called Volcano. Really good. I think 2 is a really solid record. But the other records after that, like they did one called Love Everybody that's really catchy. They have an album called Freaked Out and Small. Oh my gosh, these records that no one even knows about. Incredible. I think even Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses, because he grew up in the Seattle area, if I'm not mistaken. Duff McKagan plays bass on Freaked Out and Small. They had guest musicians come in. I don't think he plays bass on the whole record. Anyways, little tangent, little presidents of the United States of America tangent. So thank you so very much, Stephanie, for making that happen. I really only like Rubber Soul. It was like the only Beatles record I care about. I'm not the biggest Beatles fan. I don't like actively dislike them, but I've listened to some of the other records. Rubber Soul is the only one that's really like kind of stuck around. I'm more of like Zombies, Odyssey, and Oracle kind of guy. And then I like the weird Beach Boys stuff. Like when Brian Wilson re-recorded Smile, like 15, 20 years ago, whenever that was. Like I like that kind of weird shit. But Odyssey and Oracle by the Zombies, fucking incredible. 1968 album of the year. I don't care. Rick, thank you so much. I just was the character's name. Yeah, that's what I was curious about. There it is. Paul Kratka as Rick. Rick. Let's see what else we got here. Oh wait, it wasn't Stephanie. It was, it is Stephanie, and then Linda got in on it. There you go. What is with the peaches, says Chester. Stop talking about the sun. Little office action for you. Yeah, they're so much fun. There's a special edition of their first record that got put out a couple years ago. It comes with its own like zine, and it's a gold colored record. It's 180 gram. It has this whole book that comes with it. I might have spent a little too much money on it. I think it was really only like $40. Like, not that bad, but I love them so much. The performer at the Record Farm, the record store I work at, played 2 presidents of the United States songs tonight. Kitty, and I don't know the other song name. Yeah, Kitty's really good. Yeah, they're so good. Oh my gosh. Who's winning, Paula? Who's winning? The Bills, 23-19. Is that what's happening? Davey videos. Like my band. Yeah, if you look up Absent Mind, I was in a band called Absent Minds. There's a music video out there for a song called what the heck? Why can't I think of the name of the song right now? Sometimes I just forget stuff live, guys. Don't worry, we'll get back to the task at hand here, I promise. Let's see. Crusty Kids is the name of the song. Absent Minds, Crusty Kids. We had a cello. Here, I'll put the link in the chat if you guys want to check it out. It's so silly. It's a very well made. The guys that did the video, I think they did a really good job. Most of the songs we did are like skate punk, Stephanie, like kind of NoFX-y. This song's a little bit different, but it has a little bit of a punk rock kind of metal ending there. Yep. Meow, 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 meow. Okay, let's go ahead and move on from Friday the 13th here and get on to our next one. Wait, did the Texans won? Oh, wow. Okay. I'm surprised because the Bills have got that, you know, when you've got a team like that, you can pull the rabbit out of the hat at the end of the game a lot of times, especially in close games. Well, it's weird, Lito, because a couple weeks ago it was really bad, right? And then last week Josh Allen scores 6 touchdowns. I certainly didn't expect he would do that today. I thought he'd get, you know, figure he's going to get 3 or 4, or they're going to get 3 or 4, but it doesn't seem like that happened. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and move on over to Holy Cow, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as the Ramones would say. Oh, is it even worth doing a poll on this one? Because I'm pretty sure part 2 is going to win this one. Some people jumped in, 515 votes? Really great sample size. Thank you so much to everyone that voted on that one. 41 likes on this one, 10 comments. Some people were jumping into the comments saying that I should have had Texas Chainsaw 3D in here. Really? Even more than the Next Generation? Maybe more than the Next Generation. I don't know. Do you guys think that Texas Chainsaw 3D with Alexandra Daddario, if her movie would have edged out Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2022? I don't think it would have. I don't know, but let's go ahead and get this poll up here and see what you guys say. How many times have I said that when I put a new poll in the chat here? Let's get this poll up. Yeah, get this thing up. What is the best sequel in the TCM franchise? I'll just do part 2. TCM 2022, which is a sequel, not a remake. There was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003 that is a remake, but the movie just called Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't know why they make it so confusing in this franchise. And what's funny about TCM as a franchise is almost every movie is a reboot, pretty much, right? Like, even part 2 feels like a reboot to me. It's because it's just so wildly different. And like, there's no Chop Top in the first movie, but it seems like Chop Top's been there the whole time in part 2. Fucking crazy. Now, like TCM 3, the family's totally different. The Next Generation really is like essentially a reboot. I mean, at least they didn't try to call it 4. I think in some circles, or, you know, sometimes they re-release these movies and they retroactively give them a name that they're probably hoping it's going to sell more. So they're like, oh, if we call it Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4, The Next Generation. But TCM, The Next Generation, feels like it's just kind of a reboot of sorts, you know? Let me see here. Papa John says TCM is my favorite horror franchise, and part 2 is right up there with the OG for me. Yeah, man, I've only seen part 2 once, and for whatever reason, it really wasn't my cup of tea, but I need to see it again. I can't really judge it after just one view, or one viewing, but man, I do really love the first movie so much. But I think, yeah, there are a lot of people out there that are, those two are like, you know, companion pieces, essentially. The one good part of Texas Chainsaw 2022 is getting to see Sally again, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is definitely better, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the franchise. There we go. I got victims and I wear their faces. Oh, you're singing the Ramones song. There we go. Alexandra Daddario, there's a reason there's a double D in her name. Oink. No, you don't have to oink here. And it's not even just that. Yes, she has those attributes as well. Her icy blue eyes, that's enough for me, man. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my damn. But yeah, I'll go ahead and do it. I like the one with Jessica Biel in it. We talked about that one yesterday, Miss Candy. So we did, yesterday we did remakes through the decades. So yeah, we had what was the best remake of the 2000s. And I think TCM won that one. I'm pretty sure it did. Favorite sequel is The Next Generation. The Next Generation. I love how terrible it is. There you go. Yeah, Damien Maffei, when he was on the channel about a year and a half ago, or maybe it was just about a year ago. Yeah, he was like, I really like that movie. He's like, I have so much fun with The Next Generation. So he's like, not even liking it ironically. My vote is part 2. It's still Toby Hooper and has some similarities to the OG, but not many. Yeah, and I applaud him. I say this all the time. I applaud Toby Hooper for not just doing the same thing with the sequel. Whether or not it hit with me, totally irrelevant, right? I mean, clearly it hits with the fan base. I think part 2 is one of the reasons why people love the franchise so much. The people that truly are fans of this franchise, I'm not saying that they think part 2 is better than the original, but I think part 2 is a huge part of why they can celebrate the franchise so much and so passionately, right? Let's see what we got here. Dean says this is easily TCM2, but I'm the odd man out here that defends 2022. It's dumb, fun, takes chances, gives us that bus massacre, and trashing Sally like it does is ballsy. They literally, I love that, like, I think it was Lee from Drum Dums that said that. He's like, they literally just throw her in the trash. Oh, it's too funny. Yeah, I had fun with 2022, and it's only like 80 something minutes long. It's barely a full-length movie, barely. Yeah, it's tougher with this. I knew that part 2 was going to win this one. You know, I knew there wasn't a sequel in this franchise. Like, maybe I should do because aren't there a couple prequels? Didn't they do one called Leatherface that's a prequel, and then didn't they do one that was like Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning that's a prequel to the remake? Right? That's the crazy thing about this franchise. There are more prequels than like actual sequels. Well, maybe not now that TCM 2022 is technically a legacy sequel. But a lot of these just feel like, yeah, reboot, prequel, whatever the heck. Yeah. Let's see what we got. Part 2 is great, but all the screaming makes my head want to explode. I'm kind of there with you on that one. Surprise, surprise. Jamie Hart saw TCM2 in the theater. Yeah. Davey with a curly mohawk. Yes. Yes, I have curly hair, and for a lot of my life, I wore a mohawk. Or for a big chunk of my 20s and 30s. It's true. It's all true, people. If I weren't an old man now, I would think about bringing the mohawk back. There you go. Ramones? Slash Street Boys. Okay. I'm not, like, I know that when I'm in the middle of a stream, it's tough to, like, think of every little thing. But I would just said, because the Ramones have that song about I think it's just called Chainsaw Massacre or something like that. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And he says massacre. They took my baby away from me. He says that a lot. They took my baby away from me, doesn't he? Doesn't he? Met Alexandra at a con in Utah. I was wearing a Back to the Future Part 2 shirt because the main reason for going was meeting Michael J. Fox. She looked at my shirt and said, dude, rad shirt. Hell yeah. Alexandra. Man, that episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia that she's in is a really, really good one. Yeah, she seems to have pretty good taste. I don't follow a lot of celebrities on, social media or whatever, but I follow her on Instagram for obvious reasons. I haven't watched 3 or 4, but I like 2022 the most of this list. Not great, but more my speed. Hey, fair enough. Yeah, TCM The Beginning is really good. I've never seen that one. I haven't seen that one or the Leatherface one from 2017. Oh my God, I had no idea what was going on. So Leatherface is just a detached prequel, right? It's just like a prequel to the original, I guess. I get so confused with this friggin'. Maybe I should do a video on how confusing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies are. TCM2 made me fall in love with the franchise, but I find something to like in all of them except for 3D. What? Oh, I was like, there's a 3D one. I'm like, oh, it's the one with Diodario. Okay, yeah. Man, that one is tough. That one is tough, and it's not really like so bad it's good kind of tough. Although Do Your Thing Cuz is like so bad it's good. That one moment. Part 2 has a great soundtrack. Cramps, Concrete Blonde, Timbuktu 3, or yeah, is it just Timbuk 3? I thought that's what they called themselves. I could be totally wrong. Had it on cassette tape. Ooh. It's just called Chainsaw. There you go. The Tow Truck Driver in Next Gen is hilarious. Next Generation isn't well made, but I love it for Matthew McConaughey. He gives it his all. He certainly does give it his all. More so than Renee Zellweger. Who the fuck is Renee Zellweger? All right, which is the best sequel in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise? Part 2 wins 74% of 23 votes to TCM 2022's 26%. There you go. Boom. Do your thing, cuz it is gold. It's about as gold as it gets, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay, let's go ahead and move on to our next one. There we go. Hollywood Lido, just in time to keep you around for a little bit longer. Thank you so much to everybody for kicking in with us. We have just over 20 people hanging out right now. And gosh, we got a few more. Maybe we need to pick it up here a notch. I don't know. I'm probably dragging a little bit and spending way too much time blah blah blahing. But here we go. What is the best A Nightmare on Elm Street sequel? Dream Warriors killed it here. And the next closest, Freddy's Revenge and Wes Craven's New Nightmare are tied. So let's pit those two against each other. We know that Dream Warriors is getting, almost 60% of the votes, 314 votes. Thank you to everybody that participated. Let's put Freddy's Revenge versus Wes Craven's New Nightmare and see what you, the audience, say is the second best sequel. What is the second best sequel in the A Nightmare on Elm Street franchise? Freddy's Revenge or Wes Craven's New Nightmare? I mean, for me, it's got to be New Nightmare. I don't want to sway the audience at all. I've gotten really, really cold on Freddy's Revenge as the years have gone on. It seems very, very confused with the lore. But what's it? Jesse's girlfriend, the discount Meryl Streep. I like her. I do like her. This poll results just kill me. Why does it kill you, Lido? Not enough love for the Dream Master? Is that what it is? King Matthew says Dream Warriors is my most favorite Nightmare on Elm Street film. Welcome to prime time, bitch. Yeah, pretty good shit. I mean, Dream Warriors is really fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm right there where I think the Dream Master is sort of edging out the Dream Warriors for me. And Lido, you had seen in that post, you were like, oh, our rankings are the same. Well, the way that I put the ranking there, that's my ranking from last year. There has been such a dynamic shift. I watched all of these movies in October, and I feel like I've finally seen them for what they really are. And huge shift in my ranking on A Nightmare on Elm Street. Way more movement in A Nightmare on Elm Street than in my Halloween ranking, for sure. So it'll be interesting to chat with you and see how you react to my new ranking here. New Nightmare is a fucking masterpiece of horror for so many reasons. It's really good. I really dig it a lot. It's in that odd 90s period that's kind of an in-between period, but it is something else. Yeah, very, very different than anything that had come before it. I mean, it really takes, Jason Lives has those meta moments, but New Nightmare is entirely a meta film, right? Freddy, some love for Freddy by Stephanie. Yes, love to see it. Let's see Kim Myers, super hot. Oh my gosh. Crushingly. Girl Next Door, crushingly hot. Yes. New Nightmare should be stomping part 2. Well, yes, that much is for sure. Yeah, I think Freddy's Revenge should be closer to 10-ish%. If I'm being, I actually think the Dream Master is way better than Freddy's Revenge. So I would probably flip those two. I really like the Dream. The more I watch these movies, the more I appreciate the Dream Master. Wes Craven's New Nightmare for sure. To me, it's a spiritual sister to the OG. Yeah, you can make that jump. Yeah, you could just you could even do, there's the Nancy trilogy, right? So people do the OG, Dream Warriors, and then New Nightmare. And it's kind of that's all you really need. It doesn't mean the other movies are all complete trash, but it's you really only need those 3. Oh, you're not a fan of Freddy. You don't like Freddy as much as you like my curly mohawk. I'll take it, right? New Nightmare and Dream Warriors is a coin flip for me, but I also love Freddy's Revenge. I mean, I love the way Freddy looks in Freddy's Revenge, and some of the effects are really cool. It's just like, that's not everything in the movie. There's so much more in the movie. It really is confused about, not only does it, I don't even mind that it doesn't like follow the rules of the first film, because you only had one film. So like, are there rules? But it doesn't even follow its own rules. It's bizarre. Yeah, these movies have problems. I understand why Freddy is on the Mount Rushmore and why he's part of the big three. But I don't think this franchise is all it's cracked up to be. I guess I'll just say that. Yeah, underrated for sure. New Nightmare all the way, says Linda. Brooke says, I recently rewatched New Nightmare and really love it. Yeah, it's really good. I think it's a touch long. I think you could trim it a little bit, but I mean, they're not really wasting time. They're setting stuff up, and they take a while to set stuff up. But some of it does seem like, when I rewatched it this last time, I was like, oh, it is a lot longer than most of the other movies in the franchise. Probably about 10 or 15 minutes longer than most movies. It's close to 2 hours. So yeah, I think that's like the one thing that I would say about it. But, you know, and some of the digital effects, like, I think, you know, it's kind of a split. Like, some of them still look really good, and a couple of them are like, oh, it's not as good. I mean, what can you do? It's like, in that time period, they're going to try to do these digital effects. Not all of them are going to work. There's still some good practical effects. I do think Heather Langenkamp's great here. Robert playing Robert, really good. You know, Wes playing Wes, I think he's really good. I think Miko Hughes is awesome as well. So I have a lot of love for New Nightmare, for sure. I just met Kim Myers at Scarefest. I had her sign my Nightmare on Elm Street box set cover. Hell yeah, she was really nice. Love hearing that. She's not like Kane Hodder, right? The design for Freddy in New Nightmare was badass. Yeah, the entity, right? It's like, it's kind of Freddy, but it's like a little bit different, because the entity, it is not just, can't just be pigeonholed in that one way, right? Jigsaw says New Nightmare. Can't wait to share stories with you, says Lido. It's gonna be great, man. We'll get it cooking. Whenever you are ready, we will get that cooking. Aaron says Dream Master still just too MTV Freddy for me. It's the movie equivalent to eating too many sweets in one sitting and then feeling sick. I think Dream Warriors is a lot like that too. I think yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying, Aaron. It is definitely MTV Freddy. But I think Dream Warriors is very much MTV Freddy too. And Dream Warriors gets a little bit of a pass, probably because, you know, Wes was involved, Heather's back, you know, John Saxon is there. It has that, it feels more connected to the original, you know, so I think that it maybe not gets a pass, but I think some of those things just aren't as, we don't remember that stuff as much. But I think, you know, I mean, just look at the cover there, and, you know, I think it's very MTV as well. Matt says, on my recent, by the way, welcome on in, Matt, says, on my recent rewatch of Freddy's Revenge, I fucking loved it. The most brutal Freddy, and the gore is crazy. Yes, the lore is all over the place, but still loved that pool scene. There you go. And, you know, it is kind of just about, like, you know, what criteria are you judging movies on? Or when you watch a movie, what criteria are you judging that movie on? And yeah, I think, yeah, Freddy looks great. Gore is awesome. There's a lot of really good stuff going on in Freddy's Revenge, for sure. Let's see here. What else do we got? Chester says, it's tough between Freddy's Revenge and New Nightmare, but I went with Wes Craven's New Nightmare because I like how they use their real life names and the character names in it. Good sequel. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I would pick New Nightmare, easy. I love the ingenuity of Wes that's on display here. It's something, again, totally different. Something that I really like, I talk about a lot on this channel, is I like when big swings are taken and when chances are taken in these franchises. We have a lot of movies in each one of these franchises where you can just kind of have like the template that you're used to. You know, most of the movies in A Nightmare on Elm Street are very similar to one another. Freddy's Revenge and Wes Craven's New Nightmare stick out more because they are taking some bigger chances, right? Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying there, Chester. Let me check in on the poll over here. 21 votes. Wes Craven's New Nightmare wins that one. 86% to 14%. Wow. Well, there you go. That's pretty definitive. So tied on the poll that went out to everyone in the community, the 314 people that voted, sharing 36% of the vote was Freddy's Revenge and Wes Craven's New Nightmare. But here, a total landslide, 86% to 14%. Wes Craven's New Nightmare. There it is. This may be a hot take, but I also enjoyed Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. And it wasn't a great remake, but Jackie was a good Freddy. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that movie. Nothing against any of the actors, really. I think that movie, the biggest mistake it made is it's like it fell asleep at the wheel and was all over the road. It's like sometimes I want to be a shot-for-shot remake. Other times I want to do some different shit. And I think the 2010 Nightmare remake would have been better if it didn't try to emulate the first film at all. We don't need that bathtub scene and all that kind of stuff. Like, find something new to do with it. I even think like Rooney Mara, people talk about how she, right? Is that who it is? Rooney Mara? That she has this terrible performance in that movie. And it sounds like she wasn't very happy on the set. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with the performance, though. I just think the movie's not well conceived, ultimately. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a missed opportunity. And obviously, I don't need to tell you guys this, but that was it. I haven't seen a damn thing in 15 years from the official canon and the rights holders. It's really too bad. There we go. We got Matt's ranking. Okay. All right. Yeah. Where would you put Freddy versus Jason in there, Matt? I'm curious. There were rules for Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy's Revenge shits all over them. Fuck Jack's shoulder. But what I'm saying though, Lito, is like when you only have one movie in a franchise, even if you like create certain rules, it doesn't mean that I guess what I'm saying is in Freddy's Revenge, maybe there are abilities that Freddy has that we just didn't see on display, right? But like, yeah, once you have like 2 or 3 movies and then you fuck with the lore, then it seems like really out of place. But yeah, Freddy's Revenge is bizarre. It's bizarre. I mean, characters don't even have to be asleep to be consumed by Freddy in Freddy's Revenge. Like that, what? So Freddy doesn't need the dreams? I thought that was the whole thing. That's like the big thing that really throws me for a loop in Freddy's Revenge. Like the whole impetus for his like powers are that you're asleep. It's not important in Freddy's Revenge though. You could just be like doing whatever and Freddy takes you over and takes you to a S&M bar, Yeah, he's really good. He's good in Dream Warriors too, but I think Saxon is great. I've never seen Saxon in a movie where I didn't like his performance, and I'm including Mitchell, episode 512 of Mystery Science Theater 3000. It was Joel Hodgson's last episode as Joel Robinson. And John Saxon is the villain of the film Mitchell, starring Joe Don Baker. And he's really good in that movie. It's a bad movie. Merlin Olsen's in that movie too. If you're a old school 70s football fan, or you like football players who became actors, I think Merlin Olsen was one of the first ones to do it. I love New Nightmare. Say no more, Jamie Hart. Say no more. The hospital room is a good kill in New Nightmare. Robert's performance, he always killed it as Freddy and himself. Yes. Oh, Robert is tip-top shape in New Nightmare. And the actress, I can't remember her name, but the actress that plays little Dylan's nanny, she is the lead's mom in the Scream TV show, the first 2 seasons of the Scream TV show. I didn't realize that until I had seen that show twice. I didn't realize that was the same chick. Rennie Harlan literally said he was making the MTV Nightmare in the set of the film. So you're not wrong about that. Yeah. Yeah, no, they went full bore in the Dream Master. Yeah. I mean, it was like Freddy lends himself to it so much, right? He's flamboyant, he's exciting, he has personality, he talks. Like, it is it's so fitting in that time and place. It was just all about the timing. Freddy fits the MTV generation so well. In fact, guys, I'm catching up on Stranger Things so I can watch season 5 and cover it here on the channel. And I've really enjoyed season 3. Thought it was great. And I just started season 4 last night. I'm surprised. Maybe I'm not, because Vecna seems to be so closely, you know, very similar to Freddy. But I'm like, man, it's 1986 and they've talked about Michael Myers. They've referenced like Evil Dead and Day of the Dead and stuff. I'm like, there's not one reference in any of these seasons that I can remember about Freddy Krueger, which I find kind of tough to believe, because I was just a little kid at that time. And in 86, I was, you know, in preschool. But I just remember, like, as far back as I could remember, I remember Freddy being a pop culture phenomenon and icon. So I have a very difficult time thinking that these kids that like Dungeons and Dragons and Evil Dead and Day of the Dead and Back to the Future and Michael Myers wouldn't be talking about Freddy Krueger. But maybe, and don't tell me, maybe they talk about him in season 4. I've only seen a couple episodes, so there you go. Lido is happy. We like a happy Lido. Thank you, everybody, for making Lido happy. Okay, let me go ahead and... Ooh, Keelan says, just curious, why does nobody ever talk about Freddy's Nightmares? I don't think it's a very well-reviewed show, and I think that's probably why. I think they're all available on Tubi, though. I watched that pilot episode. Gosh, was it Toby Hooper that did that pilot episode where they actually show, like, the trial? The trial and, like, him being confronted by the parents. I think it's the first episode. And I think maybe people don't talk about them as much as because aren't they anthology, right? I think maybe only that first episode is really about Freddy, and then it's more like Freddy's like the host, like it's kind of like a Tales from the Crypt sort of thing. I could be totally wrong though. I never saw that show when it was on its original run. I don't know if we had that channel. I grew up in Southeast Alaska, Keelan, and certain channels we just didn't have growing up. Like we didn't have Comedy Central until like 94, something like that. So we just might not have had it. I don't know if I knew about Freddy's Nightmares until I became an adult. Okay, let's go ahead and move on over to our next one here. Boom! Chucky. How you doing, Child's Play? Speaking of Chucky, I have been enjoying the Fanta Chucky Punch. It's tasty. It's not strawberry. It's not cherry. What is it? What is the flavor? I don't know. It's sugary goodness. I'll say that. Okay, so here, this is another one where we've covered this on the channel to a certain degree. My buddy Mark from Tales from the Shelf, we did our versus battle. We actually brought Cody Leach on the channel for this one. It was pretty awesome. And we pitted Child's Play 2 against Bride of Chucky. I just figured that those would be those are the two fan favorites. Child's Play 2 won. It was really close though. Much like Jason Lives in Final Chapter, very close. Everyone was really fair. You guys in the audience were awesome. Here we got a pretty big chasm between the two. I'm gonna get this thing going up in the polls, and let's see some thoughts from you guys about the Child's Play franchise. Your favorite sequel out of the ones here. Maybe your favorite sequel isn't on here. Maybe you're a Seed guy or gal, or maybe you think the remake should have been on here. I don't know. Let me know. If you're watching after the fact, jump on into the comments and let me know down there as well. Let's go here. What is the best sequel in the Child's Play franchise? Is it Child's Play 2? Is it Bride of Chucky? Man, Bride of Chucky is really fun. I'm so like attached to those first 3 movies. That's to me, that is like what really feels like Chucky. But now we've had way more of the Bride of Chucky version of Chucky, Have a great night, Jamie. Sleep well. I hope you're feeling better, and hope you wake up feeling awesome as well. Okay, here we are. Okay, I'm going to hop on back over here with you guys. There we go. She's going to go watch Freddy's Nightmares. There you go. Stephanie, have a great rest of your night. We'll see you next time around. Child's Play 2 from Brooke. She's spoken definitively. There it is. Ashton Luck says Child's Play 2 is the best easily. Bride is a close second. Dean Renner, Child's Play 2. There it is. Freddy's Nightmare on Prime. Okay. All right. I talk about my love of Freddy in the documentary Fredheads. I grew up in the Freddy generation, so after Halloween, that's my franchise character. There we go. Lito's going to jump onto the channel and he's going to inject some Freddy love into me. And it sounds a lot filthier than it actually is, guys. It's very innocent. Let's see what else we got going on, y'all. Bride of Chucky is the best, says Antonis. Antonis has been hanging out since the beginning and just waiting for his time. He knew the Child's Play was coming, didn't you, Antonis? You sure did. I've only seen the first 3 Chucky movies, says Aaron. Yeah, Bride of Chucky's really fun, but it is sort of tongue-in-cheek. It's very well aware of kind of how silly it is and everything like that. Hollywood Lido dropping the 199 super chat. Thank you so much, bud. Says, you are all my children now. There you go. Little Robert Englund for you. Brad Dourif was good. Chucky, hands down. Nobody does it better than him. Yeah, they're going to have a heck of a time replacing him if they ever choose to keep going with that timeline, right? I mean, having Mark Hamill do Chucky's voice in the remake, like, that's totally fine, right? I don't think the remake's that great, but it would be really difficult to replace him down the line. Keelan says, I met Cody at a con this past weekend. More excited about that than anything else I did. Yeah, I got to meet him at a convention it was August of 2024. And then he appeared on the channel like a week and a half after, something like that. And yeah, really great guy. Cody's awesome. A friend of the channel. And just, I don't know. Literally, we hung out after the con and talked for like 4 hours. It was friggin' crazy. It was wild. Let's see here. Jigsaw says, also the opening of Bride with the horror reference was supposed to happen in Child's Play 2, but the studio told Don no, so Ronnie Yu did it for him in Bride. Oh, with all the characters, all the, the hockey mask and everything like that. Yeah. Do you guys watch Lost Legends TV? It's a really cool horror show channel, or horror channel. He does, he's been doing these like 10 unanswered questions, and they're really like outside of the box questions, and he does deep dives. It's pretty impressive. Like, I as a hardcore fan of these movies, I jump into those videos and I'm like, man, he's got good questions, and then he can back it up, and he like zooms in on the little details, and it's it's really well done. And he's been covering the Chucky movies, I think, were the most recent franchise that he covered. But he does like a video a week or every other week. It's really good stuff. Papa John says Bride is my favorite of the sequels, but I controversially prefer 2009's Rogue AI over the Possessed Doll. I know some people that really dig that remake. It wasn't for me. At least it is different, right? At least they're not trying to do the same thing. Whether you like it or not, they're not doing it's not a voodoo doll. I prefer Bride. I like the dynamic with between Chucky and Tiff. Yeah, Tiff's great, man. Jennifer Tilly's so talented and charming. Yeah, Cody is for how brash he can, not even brash. Maybe he used to be a little more on the brash side. But he's just so confident and smart. It's like, it can be intimidating. And he's a really tall dude. I was like, oh my God, dude, you're tall. And he's like, yeah, everyone says that. Davey, I have not seen any of the Chucky TV series. Should I watch it? Do you guys want me to watch the Chucky show and cover it here on the channel? I don't know. Let me know. Cody Leach. Cody Leach is like the Chucky guy. Yeah. He does a whole bunch, like, he reviews pretty much everything, but like horror is like I would say probably if I can speak for him, his preferred genre. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying here in the poll. 18 votes. Child's Play 2 is winning 72% to 28. Well, I'm going to close that one then. Oh, yeah. There it is. I'm doing my little pop sound a lot lately. I got to stop doing that. Annoying. Yeah, I'm like 6 feet tall and he's like 6'3", 6'4", whatever the heck it was. So when I saw him with Chris Stuckman for the Shelby Oak stuff, I was like, damn, like Stuckman must be like 6'5", 6'6". He made Cody look like a average size guy. It was crazy. It was crazy. Jason says Cody Leach is my favorite YouTuber. Even more than me? I'm just joking. If you ever having a bad day, check out this Halloween, his Halloween 5/Resurrection reviews. They will make you laugh your ass off. Yeah, his stuff is so great. It's really, really good stuff. Yeah. So much personality. It's really good. Okay, let's go ahead and jump on over to our next one here. We just got 2 left. So Scream is up now. Is my camera like extra not focused here? What's going on? Interesting. Okay, so let's see here. Scream. What is the best Scream sequel? I think it's Scream 4. Everyone else here on this poll disagrees with me. 370 votes. A lot of really good engagement here. Let me go ahead and get this poll up in the chat, and we'll talk some Scream. What is the best Scream sequel? Scream 2. Scream 4. There you go. I think it's just Cody Leach. Yeah. Leach. Oh, I mean, you gotta bash Tina if you're reviewing Halloween 5. I don't even really dislike Tina, but it's like you gotta do it, right? What's happening, Drew's Movie Club? Welcome on in, man. How are you doing? Hope you're having a great week so far. Antonis says Scream 4 is the best sequel, in my opinion. Nanette jumping in about Child's Play, saying Child's Play 2 is my favorite in the franchise, and I do not like the original. And I didn't care for Child's Play 3, but I like the rest. Well, there you go. There you go. Yeah, Child's Play 2 is really good, Nanette. I think it's such a great sequel. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here on the Scream action. Thank you for sharing that, Brooke. Yeah, Cody's channel is something else. He's just past 200 and probably about like 215,000 subs right now. How dare you not let me vote for Scream 3? Yeah, well, you can vote on go to the community tab, Ashton, and you can vote for Scream 3. But I'm just going to pick the top 2, right, out of these, and then have you guys do the 50-50. Yeah. Brooke Scarlett, Scream 2. Scream 2, man, the opening of Scream 2 is so good. It's almost as good as the original. I really think that. Like, I believe that in my bones. But man, Scream 4, there's just something I love about it. I think it has the best killer reveal outside of the original film. I love the Jill and Charlie. I love that reveal so much. Immaculate. Yeah, I like Immaculate more than the first Omen from 2024. But yeah, what did Damien end up winning that one, right? The sequel. Yeah. Linda says Scream 3 is the best sequel for me. It has the second best opening of the franchise and the best final act of the series. Those are hot takes, I think. Sydney's journey is chef's kiss. Jennifer and Gail are the best duo. Yeah, I really Jennifer and Gail. Oh, the Parker Posey and Courtney Cox. Yeah, man, Parker Posey's really good in Scream 3. I've have a lot of fun with Scream 3. I like it quite a bit. It does have a really good opening. I think if it didn't have the weird voice changer, that futuristic voice changer, maybe people would like it a little bit more. I mean, there's other elements that I think people sort of like, turn their nose up at. Jay and Silent Bob, like that kind of stuff. But right, aren't they in there? Yeah, they're in there. But yeah, I do the opening kill with Cotton. That is a heartbreaker. That's a good one. I like that. Yeah, Linda. Now I know a little bit more about you. How about that? Yeah, his stuff's great, Lito. Really nice guy. Some people out there just hate on the dude, and I'm like, jealous. I saw Scream 5 had 3 alternate endings. I don't know about that, Jigsaw. Are those out there for us to see? Can somebody check that? Are those out on like YouTube to watch alternate endings, like different killers or different like results as to like maybe some people didn't make it that made it in the final cut? Curious. Yeah, Scream 3 is really fun. Scream 4 was the first R-rated movie I saw in theaters and is definitely my favorite Scream sequel, but I still haven't seen 6. I would be amazed if Scream 6 edges out or pushes Scream 4 out of that favorite sequel spot. Scream 6 is my least favorite in the franchise. I don't think it's bad or anything. It's just my least favorite. Let's see what else we got. King Matthew the Third. Oh, we got Keelan says I can't stand Scream 3, to be honest. I liked it when it came out, and then when it was just those 3, though, it really stood out as a movie that was so different. And then now that we have 6 movies, it doesn't seem like too different. Plus, I started really liking the Roman Sydney, like the brother-sister thing at the end of the 3rd movie started to like, I don't know what happened. It just started resonating with me differently. So my feelings on it, I never disliked the movie, but my feelings on it have changed. I've warmed up to it as the years have gone on, and especially since Radio Silence put their 2 films out. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, this makes Scream, it just made me like Scream 3 even more, for sure. King Matthew says this may be a hot take, but I enjoy Scream 5 over 4. The fact that a Ghostface finally got Dewey after 4 movies. Yeah. God, I wish they didn't get him, though. But you got to kill one of them. Gail? If Gail makes it through 7, I'm going to riot in the theater. I'll say that. Matt says, wish I was alive to see Scream 2 in the theater, especially with that opening scene. So meta. I did catch that one in the theater opening night. So I didn't see the first one in the theater. But I did see that one. I saw Scream 2 and Scream 3 opening night in the theater. Let's see here. Linda says, Lido, you're becoming one of my favorite people. Yes, Scream 3. Oh, yeah. I got plenty of love for it, too. Scream 2 by a razor's edge. Opening scene is top-notch. I dig 4, though. We need a 4K steelbook of that one. Yeah, I think they're cleaning up some of the visuals because there's that like Vaseline look to it that a lot of people don't like. And it's not every scene that has that. It's just certain scenes have that soft lens kind of thing. And I think, if I could be incorrect, but I'm pretty sure I heard that as they're transferring to 4K, they are removing that. Because I think it was something that was done in post. Or something that can be fixed while they're doing the transfer. Yeah. Yeah, Scream 2, great soundtrack. 3, yeah, I mean, I think they all have pretty damn good soundtracks. Scream 2, though, Less Than Jake, come on. I'm all over that. Cottonmouth Kings, why the hell not? Killer Reveal in 4, I like more than the first one. That's a nice little hot take. I like that hot take, Chester. It's so tough to beat the reveal from the first one because it's the one that kind of blew the doors off everything, right? So it's really difficult to beat the first one, at least for me. But I really love the way Scream 4 shakes out. Man, what is up with... I'm sorry, guys. I feel like the quality... I'm so out of focus. Is that just... Sorry. I won't harp on it anymore. Maybe it's just a connection thing. Any crap. Let me see if I could do something about it. No, doesn't look like I can. Okay. We're just going to move past that. Not a big fan of Scream 2 or 4, but I get so mad about Billy's mother, so I voted for Scream 4. There we go. Drew's Movie Club says, my stepdaughter is obsessed with Scream. It is a series that I feel like, not that women don't like the other slasher franchises, but I do think there's something about Scream that, brings more ladies in, Maybe it is the whodunit kind of aspect. It has a little bit more of that kind of intrigue to it than your standard like guy walking through the woods killing people. It's interesting. It's an interesting thing to ponder on, you know? The third act of Scream 3 is fire. Yeah, it's really good. Jason Carpenter, I absolutely love Scream 6. I saw it 5 times in the theater. No bullshit. Yeah, the third act for me is what really, like, the reveal completely distracted me and kind of didn't ruin the movie for me, but really, like, knocked me off the rails. I'll say that. Scream 3 was the first one I saw with my wife, so it automatically gets another star on the rating because of that. Plus, I love the Roman storyline. Yeah, it's good stuff. Okay, let me jump on in and check out what's going on in the poll. I just want to be mindful of the time. We're just after 2 hours. Let's go ahead and cruise on to our last one of the night. 19 votes so far. I'm going to close this one out because it's a friggin' landslide. 68% of you voted for Scream 2, just 32% for Scream 4. So boom, there it is. Scream 2 is definitively, not just from the people jumping into the polls, but from you, the live audience, Scream 2 is the best Scream sequel. Boom, stick a fork in it because this one is done. I don't know, I just saw it on another channel and they claimed there was an ending with only Richie as Ghostface and the others supposedly had only Amber. Okay, before they decided on both. I'm going to look this up really quick, guys, just to see if I can find anything on it. Alternate endings for Scream 5. I hate that they called it Scream 2022. Just call it Scream 5, assholes, especially when the 6th one is called Scream 6. You guys are just being fucking jerks. Alternate endings for, this is just the AI overview, so take it for whatever that's worth. Alternate endings for Scream 2022 include a version where Jill Roberts from Scream 4 survives and returns as Ghostface. What? A different killer reveal with a different motive and several other endings the directors filmed to throw off fans. Well, that's good. I mean, you should do that when you're doing Scream. You really should. The directors shot multiple fake endings to keep spoilers from leaking, so there were different killer reveals and motives. One of these was a version where Jill Roberts, the third Ghostface, would have worked with a new killer to stage new killings to get the Stab franchise to restart. The original ending would have ended with Jill pretending to be the hero and getting away with it. And it says Scream 2022. So it's not, I don't think it's confusing it with Scream 4. And then even it says what happened in the official ending and it lists Richie and Amber. Huh. Wow. I don't know. I'll have to dive in a little bit more on this one. This might be like a video. Guys, should I do a video about like the what could have been of Scream 2022? You guys want that? Let me know in the chat. Let me know. 9 times in the theater. Wow. Or did you see Scream 29 times? No, I'm just joking. 9 times. Linda, you look so young. You were old enough to see Scream 2 in the theaters? Wow. Yeah. I'm a Randy fan too, King Matthew. Him dying in part 2, that was crushing. It was crushing. Wes would have never would have let them kill Dewey. He would have offered up Gale first. Yeah. Gale, I thought she died in Scream 6. I think that's another thing that Scream 6 fucked up with. Especially after Scream 5 tried to like call out the other sequels for not killing enough legacy characters. Looked it up. They wrote multiple endings, but nothing was filmed. Only thing they filmed was Dewey survived. Gotcha. But it wasn't used. Okay. Dang, you saw it 9 times in the theater too? Holy cow. 4 is the final Scream that needs a 4K. Oh, they've done them for all the others. I've seen all the Scream movies in the theater except the original. I kicked myself in the butt for missing that experience. Yeah, I was like 14, 13 or something like that when it came out. So I wouldn't have been able to go unless my parents got me in. But I don't like Scream. It was like a little bit of a sleeper hit, you know? Okay, let's go ahead and jump on over to our last one of the evening. Final Destination. Man, getting 8 of these in a night with how much I talk, that's kind of tough. What is the best Final Destination sequel? Let's see here. Final Destination 2. Final Destination Bloodlines. right? Those are the two. What do you guys think of my background music? What do you guys think about that? You guys like the little John Carpenter sounding synth wave we've got going here? I'm a bit of a preservationist, so I think both versions of Scream 4 should be available on any upcoming 4K release. Hopefully they do that. That would be nice if they did that. I'm right there with you, Aaron. Like, I don't think you should get rid of one. Like, it should be an option. Yeah. And a lot of people talk that like that filter is on the whole movie. It's really not. It's certain scenes. It's a lot of the daylight scenes and a lot of the scenes that's honestly like the stuff that's like focused on the ladies. It's just this weird, soft, like Barbara Walters lens. Yeah. King Matthew says, one thing I hate about Scream 5 is the Billy hallucinations, because Billy died before Sam was born, so she wouldn't know what he looked like. Well, she's probably seen pictures, but it is interesting that he's wearing his like death shirt. You know, she doesn't picture him like school picture or prom picture Billy or something like that, you know, or family reunion Billy. She pictures like Billy wearing a bloody white t-shirt. It is kind of weird. Okay, let's see, what do we got here? What are we saying about Final Destination? Sorry guys, I'm just like, I'm reaching the point of the stream where I'm like, oh my gosh, and I still have to film stuff when I'm done here. I'll give myself a little bit of a break. Yeah, I just call it Scream 5. Yeah. You want a Jill Roberts return? I would have loved a Jill Roberts return. Emma Roberts is incredible in Scream 4, but they pretty much definitively kill her. Although, man, if they bring Stu back, then they could have brought her back. That's for sure. Yeah. If they had done that, it would have made much more sense for him to be involved. The note Sid and Gale found could have read, "This ends where it all began." Oh, I must have missed something here. Oh, here we go. Also, they should have had the showdown take place at Casey Becker's house and revealed Jack Quaid to be Casey's younger brother, whose mother killed herself after losing Casey. That makes it better so much. Just that. Then Jack Quaid has a really good reason to hate the lead girl, Sid and Gale. Yeah, because basically, here's the biggest sin that Scream 5 made is they attack fans that have opinions or fans that don't like movies and franchises. So they turned this whole thing into, it's like a commentary on. To me, it seems like they're saying like, hey, if you don't like our movies, then you're the problem, and you might be psychotic. And I really didn't like that. It's like, to me, it seemed like they were trying to be like, people that didn't like The Last Jedi or people that are critical of filmmakers are like this close to being psychos. And that didn't sit well with me. Not at all. Because I don't love all of those. I have to love all the movies that you make. I can't have an opinion on the movies that are being made when the audience are the people spending money going to see the movies, and we can't have opinions. Like, come on. It just seems like really punching down. Like when people say punching down, there's no further you can punch down than punching your audience. Disney. Fucking assholes. Let's see. What do we got about Final Destination here? Antonis Andriotis drops a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Antonis. Really appreciate you. He asks, what Scream movie is generally the least favorite to fans? That's a really good question, Antonis. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think the least favorite to fans is probably 5 or 6. For the most part. Let's see if we can gather some info. What is the least favorite Scream film according to the fans? And let's see what we got. So Copilot which is Microsoft's AI, says Scream 3 is ranked lowest. Tone shift, behind the scenes changes, the villain reveal. It's often cited as the weakest entry. Interesting. Gosh, I wouldn't think of it as that. Like, not even close. But yeah, I guess it might be Scream 3. Thank you so much for the $4.99, Antonis. Really appreciate you kicking it, man. Love the background music. Hell yeah, Lito. Thank you so much, man. I've seen a porno that fits the description of 5 Cream. Thank you, Brooke. Really appreciate you. I wanted to move away from, I love White Bat Audio's music, but if I forget a copyright, which every now and then when I'm copy and pasting all my stuff into the description, if I forget the copyright, I don't get struck with anything, but he, you know, of course he wants to, you know, if he doesn't get credit for it, he is going to want to take the monetization. And he's been really, Carl Casey's been really sweet about anytime I forget, I add it in there. And I appeal the claim, and I just say, sorry, Carl, I put your tag in there, man. But I just wanted to not worry about that. So I'm glad you guys are digging it. Antonis says, personally, I think the best Final Destination sequel is 3. I think a lot of people really like 3. Nanette hasn't seen Bloodlines. I think Bloodlines, it's right up there, right? Yeah, Barbara Wall, you know what I'm talking about, right, Lito? I always assumed that Billy's daughter saw crime scene photos online. Yeah, because it is like the dead version of him as the ghost, right? Isn't he bloodied up and everything like that? Yeah. Weird kind of de-age. The de-aging, I just think it could have looked better, you know? If you're going to do it, make sure you got the budget for it, you know? Nanette says, and this is going to be a little bit of a hot take, but Final Destination 2 is my favorite movie in the franchise. I don't think you're alone, Nanette. I think a lot of people prefer the second movie overall. Yeah, I like it more than the first movie. Yeah, for sure. Nothing wrong with the first movie, but the opening to FD2 is epic, and the final act is really awesome. I don't know. It's just a little. I think it's more fun. That's what I'll say. It's a more fun of a movie for sure. Like they've settled into their lore, and whereas the first one was setting up and was a little bit more of a personal kind of story, I feel like Final Destination 2 is like, all right, this is a franchise, baby. Let's have some fun. And I think it totally succeeds, and it doesn't sacrifice anything in that pursuit. Someone help, I closed the poll without answering it and I can't find it now. If you just reload the stream on YouTube, Keelan, I think it'll pop back up. Not a Scream 4 fan. I was talking to Lito about the Casey stuff. Oh, gotcha. Okay. FD2 created a genuine phobia for people. As much as I love Bloodlines, I can't say it's over FD2. Yeah, and Bloodlines is really good. Probably the best, like, 6th entry other than Jason Lives. But it's very rare that the 6th entry reaches that, like, near top status. I really like, and I kind of fucked up here, guys, because technically Final Destination 5 is a prequel. It's not really a sequel. I mean, it's called Final Destination 5, but it's a prequel. I really like that one. That is like, it's in my top 3. Like, I really loved it. I don't like it. It expanded on a piece of the lore where it's like, if you kill somebody, that person takes your spot. And it brought a totally different, like, kind of twist into the final act of the film that I thought was pretty awesome. I like Final Destination 5 quite a bit. Final Destination was the horror franchise I grew up with, says Papa John. 5 is my favorite. There you go. And the first one I saw in the theaters. 3 is a close second. I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Yeah, she's good. She's good, man. Antonis says 3. Keelan says 3. Brooke says 3. Oh, there you go. So you guys don't even want to participate in the poll that's in the live chat. Same, Davey. It was so condescending to me. If you don't love this requel, it's your fault. Really rubbed me the wrong way. Yeah. I think they were commenting on just, yeah, a whole bunch of these movies, right? All the Disney stuff, pretty much. Because the comic book movie people were saying the same kind of stuff, right? that it's like, oh, it's the toxic fans that are ruining everything. Just make good movies. It's that simple. Just make movies that don't suck. It's that simple. Like, stop making The Last Jedi. Stop it. Stop giving Rian Johnson, like, let him make his own movies. He seems to be doing a good job at just making movies that people aren't attached to, or they're not attached to the IP, right? Least favorite Scream, 6. Yeah, find it the least favorite overall. Me too. Scream 3 for Aaron. Yeah. Linda's ready to go get in the ring and defend Scream 3. I love it. Not 5 or 6 for me. I'd have to pick 3 for being too much like Scooby-Doo, and it's still totally watchable. For Scream. Gotcha. I'm looking at Final Destination, and then I'm trying to figure out like what's what. Keep the music. Thank you so much, man. I'm glad you dig it. Okay, let's see here. I am going to check on the poll really quick. Sorry, guys, my voice is just getting a little tired, and we're about 2.5 hours, so I might wrap this one up a little quicker here. 17 votes. What is the best Final Destination sequel? Wow, FD2 taken 71% of the votes. Bloodlines with just 29%. So there you go. You guys are right in line with the poll that we've got here. 402 votes. Gosh, maybe I should cover a little more Final Destination here on the channel. My parents weren't horror fans, so my introduction to horror was my older sister showing me the Final Destination. It's a terrible movie, but it made me a horror fan. There you go. Well, when you're a little kid, right? It's the worst one of the bunch, I think. I'll probably never watch it again. But yeah, I mean, whatever. It's like whatever gets you into it, you know? Final Destination 3 is okay. Sequel, The Tanning Bed Death, or Tanning Bed is a Scary Death. The scene where they're happy and singing, and then they were screaming and burning to death. Ouch, can't have drinks in here. Which one? Is that in the... Is that when they're in the tanning bed? Is the part 3 has like the weightlifting death, right? The drive-through death. I'm trying to think because I've only seen some of these once. The nail gun death in part 3. Oh, that one is epic, dude. That one's really, really good. Nanette likes all of the Final Destination movies, but I don't really like the Final Destination. Not saying that I had a bad time watching it, just not a movie I want to see again. Fair? Fair. Never seen one FD movie. I just might binge them all to start 2026. Here's the cool thing about these, Jason, is they are easy watches. And these like Rube Goldberg type death scenes are pretty, like, that's the attraction for the movies, for sure. It's almost like with some of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies where you know, maybe the characters, you're just sort of like, I don't really care about the characters. I came for the creative Freddy kills. Final Destination, I'm not saying it's as good as Nightmare or anything like that. They're different in a lot of ways, but Final Destination is similar in that you go for the creative fun deaths. And man, Bloodlines had some of the best deaths in the franchise. Easy. We got Ben Grimm, one of our great channel members, jumping on in, says, I grew up near the city with Ryan Merriman, the guy who starred in FD3, and the word around town is he's a big asshole. Is he the guy? He played Deckard in Resurrection, right? Isn't that Ryan Merriman? I think it is. Scream 5 put the Pizza Hut logo on the inside of the box. Come on. How put the Pizza Hut logo on the inside of the box? What do you mean? Like when you open up the Pizza Hut logo, like what? When you open up the actual DVD or something? I'm totally confused. You could say, though, that there really are toxic fans that try to say that only their opinions are correct. So I kind of see the point the movie was trying to make. Maybe, well, yeah. And Aaron, I know I see this quite a bit where, yes, I mean, those people do exist. They're not even close to being the majority of people that don't like the movies. Not even close. So yeah, if the filmmakers are going to get so butthurt about what some weirdos say on Twitter and then make it like I guess what I'm trying to say is in Scream 5, They're looking straight at the camera and basically saying that, like, if you don't like these movies, you're this close to being a psychotic killer. And I just think that's a bit too far. I think that these billion-dollar, trillion-dollar corporations can make better movies. But yeah, I mean, there are certainly weirdos out there for sure. But I would say most people that don't like a movie like The Last Jedi aren't toxic. It's just a bad movie, you know? Story sucks. Looks great. Sounds great. You know, nothing wrong with the way where they put the camera or anything like that, and nothing really wrong with the performances. It's what's on the page is not good storytelling. So it's fair for people to be like, I think this sucks, you know? And it doesn't mean that they're bad people for saying that, but sure, I guess one side can just call the other side toxic, and that's okay. But the people that are being called toxic can't have their opinions about the movies that they pay money to see, and franchises that they've loved for decades of their lives. I just think that, like, there is something about, like, ownership to the fans, you know? And it's okay if the fans are upset because they're the ones keeping the studios in business, or not. And look at the way things are going for a lot of movies now. And it's because they're not making movies that are speaking to people, unfortunately. So I don't think that the toxicity is close to the majority of people. When people don't like a movie, I think it's just an excuse. The studio, all they have to come out and say is, oh, it's just these guys that hate things that aren't like them. And that's the laziest, easiest response, when really the onus is on the studios and the writers and the directors to make a product that people want to consume, period. Right? Like, if you went and ate at a restaurant and said you didn't like the meal, how would you feel if people were like, oh, well, you just don't like it because a woman made the meal? You know, you're like, oh, I just didn't like the meal. I don't know. I think there's more of that, but I think the narrative is that if you don't like something, that it's because you have a prejudice, unfortunately. Yeah. I'm the rare bird that loves The Last Jedi, but I get why people like it, and I wouldn't say they're toxic. Well, and there certainly were people that were that way. You know, if people are going to say, I don't like a movie, and they're going to attack the physical characteristics of people in the movie as the reason why they don't like the movie, to me that doesn't make sense. Like, to me that's just like, oh, well, you're just showing your hand. But yeah, a giant, it's basically Mad Max Fury Road in space. Weird plot for a Star Wars movie. Well, and here's another thing too, is not only, I don't even know if they're the loudest, they get the platform, and they are platformed by the people that make the movies that want to make an example of them and paint everyone with that brush. Especially, I'm just going to say it, guys, this might not be a popular opinion, they want to paint every white dude with that brush. Like, that's what happens. And then if you do have a legitimate critique, you're just like, you're put in that literal basket of deplorables, or whatever they're calling them this decade. It's just, again, it's just laziness from the studios of like, well, we made a shitty movie, and I guess it's just easier to attack the moviegoers than to make a better movie. But yeah, I don't think that I like a lot of the movies that I'm out there watching. Not a lot of the Star Wars movies, but again, the stories are just what the hell's going on with the stories? I don't think I'll ever watch The Rise of Skywalker again because I don't really remember anything about it. Yeah. Let's see here. Dean says, it's just so dumb. One of many dumb choices in Scream 5. Oh, Davey, when Richie is eating pizza in the hospital, he's watching YouTube, he's eating pizza. For product. Okay. They put the logo on the inside of the lid so you could see it on. That is so dumb. I'm frozen in like how idiotic that is. Yeah, radio silence. Man, and they just, more power to them. I'm happy for them. Can't take away anything from them. I just don't think they're very good. It's pretty dumb. That's pretty offensive for sure. Dean, such as Sydney, mother of 2 toddlers, firing a gun randomly into closed doors, knowing that there could be innocent people behind those doors. So stupid. Oh, jeez. Is Scream 5 worse than Scream 6? It might be. It might be. Oh, my God. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. Oh, shit. Have a good one, Keelan. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hanging out, man. No, I have to bring my pumpkin pie. No, Brett is the one that likes the apple pie. Different compartments for sure. Yeah. And if you notice that as they're not making as many Star Wars movies and Marvel movies, we're not really hearing that anymore that much. Is there any way I could talk you into talking about the Children of the Corn franchise here? I want to do in the next bit. I need to watch those movies. I've only seen the first one. That's all I've seen from Children of the Corn. So I need to watch more of those movies for sure. Yeah, I could cover it here on the channel though. In fact, like I can throw that into our next sequel stream, Nanette. So let me get a poll up on the Children of the Corn movies. It just hadn't really occurred to me. One of my buddies really likes the Urban Harvest. I think that's the 3rd movie in the franchise. I could be wrong. But yeah, you can send me a message on Instagram, or I would say Instagram is the best way to reach me. And my link is in the description. So yeah, you can find me there. RS makes my brain hurt. Is that Rise of Skywalker? Scream 5 is definitely the worst, yeah. The thing I hate most about Scream 5 is just how very little the film seems to understand the legacy characters. I mean, they have 4 films to guide them. How did they fuck it up? How did they fuck it up so bad? They just weren't paying attention. Yeah. Hate the Wes party scene, and Wes's death is so drawn out, and then Judy getting stabbed like 100 times on the front walkway in broad daylight. Oh, dude, the stabbing of, so that drives me crazy. I don't mind CG effects sometimes. You don't need the 2 knife to the neck kills in 5, the Kyle Gallner kill. There's like no resistance. It's like the knife is going into butter and coming out. I'm pretty sure there would be some resistance. I've never done that, you know, or had that done to me or seen it happen, but I'm pretty sure it would be more resistance than just butter. Clearly you can tell there's like not even a blade, right? It's just a digital blade that they do that to Kyle Gallner's character. And then there's a stabbing in the neck of Wes, right? And that one looks really bad. Those are, I just like, why can't you do that practically? There's got to be a way to do it practically. Shark of the Corn. Let's see here. Fell asleep watching the first Children of the Corn and never went back to the franchise. Oh, Radio Silence. There you go. I'm like Rise of Skywalker. Them too. All right, let's see here. That's dumb with the pizza box, but I hate it when people boycott the movie because of that. That's just, why don't I didn't even notice that. Did people take it to the streets? I don't think that happened. Did that happen? Did people take because this is the first time even hearing about the Pizza Hut thing. I had that like went like right over my head. I didn't even notice that. I didn't even notice it when I watched the movie. How did I not notice that? Well, so much for me thinking that I'm so observant and I didn't even notice at all. It's friggin' crazy. And Dean and Lido, I found my people. There you go. Lido, I could definitely rip on Scream 5 for like 2 hours. You should do a video. Yeah. Is there really a movie called Shark of the Corn? That's wild. Okay, guys, holy cow. We've been chatting for 2 hours, 35 minutes. Yeah, I'm calling it a night as well. Jason, thank you so much for kicking it with us, man. Thank you for being a channel member. Yeah, if you're out in the street protesting art, not worth it. Not worth your time. Definitely not. That's wild to me. Yeah, hopefully no one's doing that, and hopefully no one ever does that. Yeah, I think it's been probably decades, right, since that was like kind of a thing. What, Silent Night, Deadly Night got protested in the streets? Skin has elasticity. There was zero sign of that. Yeah, it is seriously like Jello or butter. It's just like, it's not even there. It is so weird. Yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this stream. Sorry, guys. I know I'm sort of like droning on, and you guys have been amazing. 2 hours and 35 minutes of kicking it with each other, going over all these sequels and everything. This has been great. I'm going to take a little break, and then I'm going to jump right back in front of the computer and shoot a little something, because I'm looking to drop a video either tomorrow or Saturday. I've got a collab with Horror, and we are going to be taking a look at some of the Scream 7 theories that were dropped in the comments section of our videos. And if you guys like that video, you could drop your theories if you guys didn't already, and we could do a part 2. Could be pretty fun, so keep an eye out for all of that, guys. And it doesn't look like we reached our super chat goal, but no worries. Still planning on doing a members only stream this weekend. We're going to cover It Welcome to Derry episode 5 this weekend as well. So there's still going to be plenty of content. And fuck, guys, maybe I'll go live tomorrow. I'm not sure. I have some plans, but I'm not sure if they're going to end up working out. So if they don't end up working out, then we're going to do part 2 of the sequel poll talk here tomorrow night. So keep an eye out for all of that. Make sure your notification bells are hit and all of that good stuff. Hang out with us over on Discord if you haven't joined us over there. You guys are all so beautiful. I love you so very much. Thank you for coming on in and having the discussion and the debate and the exchange of ideas and the open-mindedness and all of the great things that make this community really, really fun to hang out in. I love it so very much. I love you guys so very much. Shout out to the Patreon members, YouTube channel members, and of course, our amazing group of Death Squad mods. You guys are just the absolute best. I don't know what else to say, except until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Take care.